everybody, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. My name is Will. I'm a D&D sex icon. I'm back today with another episode of The Long March. We've got the whole cast and crew here with us in a second. Laurelani will be driving back from Twitch. She'll be here any moment, I'm sure. So fear not, we'll have Payne the Tiefling Bard with us. But in the meantime, you got us, all right? So you're going to have to live with it. We have Josh as our Dungeon Master today. Josh, how do you do?
How do I do? I fare very well, good sir. I am looking forward to the absolute chaos that is coming forth. You guys made some discoveries. You met an interesting person on the way to where you finally arrived. Actually, you made it to the Shard, so I'm super excited to see what you guys are doing there, and I look forward to just slowly killing all of you quickly.
Good. Well, let's do just that. We also have Louise with us today. Louise, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm looking forward to being killed. I can't wait. Very excited for that. Yeah, I'm good. And I'm playing Kasna, who is a drow fighter, Eldritch Knight, with a dead sister, a potentially almost dead adopted son, and Gregor. And she's having a good time. Things are well. Things are well.
Adopted son and adopted Gregor.
Adopted Gregor.
Yeah. Beautiful. We also have with us tonight Toll Squall. Toll Squall, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great today. Looking forward to seeing how this is going to all turn out as we arrive at this giant palace where basically everything's going to kill us, and pretty quickly. I am playing Hex, who currently is inhabiting the body of Gavin Fjordhammer. He is, through all sorts of weird forms of manipulation, he is a sorcerer barbarian. Currently with lots of baggage. So we're going to see how this all ends up. I'm looking forward to it.
Great stuff. As for myself, I'll be playing Gregor Tuscan, the dwarf fighter warlock, who is also has an adopted son, Scab, that he's pretty worried about. And also may have some deals with demons and devils. He doesn't keep up with them because they're not important to him, but he's gonna try and make it out of this alive with his 24 AC, so fingers crossed he doesn't have to roll any dice himself, like any kind of saves, because then he's screwed, but other than that, we're fine. Of course, Laurelani is going to be playing Payne the Tiefling Bard. We'll do introduction when she joins into the game. But before we dive into today's session, we'll do a recap. I'll remind you guys, we're sponsored by D&Dice. Go over their channel. Not their channel. They're not a Twitch stream. They are a website, dndice.co.uk. Go over there, get yourself some sexy dice, save 5 whole %. Not 1, not 2, nay, 5% you can save yourself over there, and get yourself some dice that Josh is himself holding in his very hands today. Ooh, look at scandalous. Showing off those dice on camera. Jeez, TOS. Of course, you can interact with today's stream. If you haven't followed the show yet, hit the follow button, join us. 20 followers get to decide what happens next in our campaign. There is the tweet as well. 20 retweets. We'll get a viewer decision rocking and rolling up in this long march. And of course, you can donate to a fellow game. Give players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges, and for these last few days, the tentacles are active. So if you haven't yet given a player one of your favorite tentacles created by you guys there in chat, strongly recommend you do so and see what crazy and wild effects may happen to our players. But yeah, let's dive into it. Let's remind ourselves of what happened last week. So let's hand over to Josh to talk us through last week's shenanigans.
Yo, how's it going? Cool. We last week we found ourselves staggering through the Underdark as usual with you idiots. You guys came back to sort of find. You had a regroup. You found out that unfortunately it seems that we've had a perished party member. Zune Vandry of House Vandry is resting in Pepperino, as it were, and Hex came back, or Gavin came back to explain the situation, that he was ambushed. You know, there was nothing he could do, and it was terrible. So our dear old Louise, Kasna, her sister, went down and confronted the body of her departed sister. And on the way down, she found Brainy, their good old friend, their intellect devoured pet friend, who had a bit of a thing for Zune. And they hatched something of a plot, a plan. Something happened, super secret, super exclusive, and Yeah. So as that happened, we also saw on the flip side Gavin Fjordhammer, where he now resides, locked in his own mind. Gregor was let into Gavin's head to see that Hex now is running the show. Hex being sort of a soul that is entrapped within Gavin's form, and saw what has become of Gavin. And there was some stuff. Some stuff was discussed between Gregor and Gavino, and it was interesting. And finally, you guys met Payne, who is a tiefling who is on the run down here in the Underdark, who you have convinced to lead you back to what she's running from, which is a city known as the Shard, a city that is now lost to an unknown force that you guys have been tasked with destroying. And as you guys closed in on the Shard, you found a huge city that was encased in like an orb carved of stone and like exquisite geometry and architecture, but the doors, the gates on the way in are made entirely of huge petals of fungus, which is super great. It's super great. So seeing this, arriving in this place, you guys need to remember that these guys, I'll remind everyone here, you have 15 vials of some kind of antitoxin and antidote, something, vaccine, whatever it is. They're good for 24 hours. You've already consumed one. That means you have 4 left each. And when that runs out, well, don't let it run out. Just don't. Be a bad idea. So that's pretty much where we are. Questions?
Fungus.
Fungus.
Good or
indeed.
bad?
Good or bad? Eat it.
That can't be good.
Eat it. Saute it. See, it depends.
But it's such a fun guy.
Season to taste. Oh god. Right. Okay. So pushing past that. Oh god. So you're not sure if you could slip between the fungus. There doesn't seem to be mushroom to get through. There you go. Tool school. That's for you.
I told you not to encourage him.
You guys are traveling with a tiefling called Payne, who has wings, rather impressive wings, and she is going to offer right at the beginning to separate from the party. This is what happens when you don't turn up at the beginning of my show. You are separated from the party, Laurelania. Learn. Payne essentially tells you that the way she initially left the city wasn't through any of the conventional tunnels or anything like that. She tells you that there is damage to the upper reaches of the city's fortifications, and with her wings, she can climb or fly up to it, ascend to it, and see how things are inside without giving you guys away. So she goes on a scouting mission before anyone can really say anything, telling her mistress, Kasna, that she will return post-haste.
I think Gregor's fine with this as well. As long as he knows where he's going, he's not too worried about this drow who we've only just met, who was pretty angsty. Going away, he doesn't worry for her safety.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, Hex is sure, whatever. But Hex also is tapped out, so he does not have spells of much to do.
How much fungus are we looking at here, Josh?
I mean, big giant storage, right?
In elephants. How many elephants?
In elephants.
African or Indian, I guess. First question.
Yeah, there we go. In African elephants, I'm gonna say 6 standing on top of each other.
Okay.
Per door.
All right.
Like individual petals that. Yeah.
That's a lot of fucking fungus right there. Anyone
Yes.
ever dealt with any? I mean, I had a foot thing once, bit of fungal infection, but nothing to this size,
Yeah. Well, certainly, I think the front door is not going to be the answer for us.
We could try knocking.
Seeing as I don't believe that we're going to be particularly welcome. That might not be the best idea. We can try to climb.
Climbing up might be an option, eh?
As you look at
still have your rope.
You do.
I do.
As you look around at this this huge sort of structure, it looks at least sort of 2 miles high.
Wow.
But you will see that
6
it
elephants
has.
equals 2 miles. What math is this?
No, I'm saying the actual, those are the doors, like
Okay.
the actual. Yeah,
I was like, wow.
I was the lesser spotted, nearly extinct 2 mile high.
Rare breed.
They're impressive. You guys will see that, like, essentially it tapers outwards, so like the initial climb would be you'd essentially be climbing against gravity, which is I think you always actually climb against gravity. I think that's why they call it climbing. But you will have to sort of basically you'll be leaning back, and it will be a difficult climb. But there are runes that are carved into, like, sigils that are carved into the rock, and we're talking like runes that are at least like 1.5 meters high each, and heavily carved in. So there's plenty of handholds. It wouldn't be an easy climb, but you could most definitely try and scale and look for a breach somewhere higher up.
Can I read these runes? Are these readable?
You can indeed. You will recognize that they name this place the Shard. They name it over the top of older runes that have been desecrated and destroyed. This place seems to have had names before the Shard, but its most recent name is the Shard. It has warnings to interlopers, your average sort of like almost border control threats, except they're all very drow. So there's plenty of messages that allude to being skinned alive and then fed your own flesh, like really nasty ways to perish, essentially. But above the door there is a symbol that you would recognize. I'm gonna just give me a religion check real quick, everyone.
Okay. See what religions I know about fucking fungus religions.
It's like Gavin's good at it. Hex isn't.
Happy days.
Nope.
That's a 19.
A 19.
What do I know?
All hail the fungus god.
I just start praying.
Fungus for the fungus god.
Fungus for the fungus god, indeed. You
Part of my
you look
backstory.
up and you see what is essentially a hand carved in detail into the frame of like the door, and door's missing, but this hand is still there, and you can see that there is stuff that has grown through it, like a moss that has kind of partially covered it, but you can make out that there is this hand which looks familiar to things that Zune has sketched and alluded to and spoken to you about. It appears to be a symbol of Kyriansely.
Either is great news or terrible news. That symbol there, it's Kyriansely's.
Kerry fucking who?
Do you remember my sister?
I do.
Great.
I've got a lot of bad memories about your sister.
Well, Kyriansely was important to her. She followed.
Okay, so we could
I-
assume that she's Gregor stops himself from saying fucking psycho. Drow? Goddess or something? Or, is she a bit that way inclined in that she might be a wee bit evil?
Perhaps. I never really followed it myself. I'm not sure.
Somehow, Gavin/Hex is able to keep it together other than the fact that he's about to piss his pants. That he is basically standing outside of some giant temple city to Kyriansely.
All I know.
He might just have another god that he's pissed off.
All I know about Kiriansley is that she was Lolth's arch enemy. They hate each other. She's the goddess of death, I think. Very fitting for Zune right now.
Okay. So, sometimes gods and goddesses, they like, symbols of worship and stuff, Did you manage to get anything from Zune when you last saw her that, maybe we could present as a symbol of faith or along those lines?
Did I, Josh? Are there any of the things I took? I have the book. Does that work?
You have her spell book.
I have
indeed.
her spell book.
Which does have details on Kiriansley in there, but she never had like a holy symbol or anything like that. She isn't someone who was of particularly devout faith before the war.
Give me a moment, and I want to read what I can of the Kiriansley bit. See what I can gather.
Wild Lorelani appears.
A wild look. Oh god. Appears but does not speak.
Give her a minute to set up.
Yep.
So yeah, you flick through the book, and you find plenty of annotation, wordings that you recognize, almost what we'll refer to as sort of wizarding slangs, clever ways of sort of like shorthanding, and also sort of making sure that it's difficult for someone else to pick up your book and simply like read everything that you've written, like your life's work. It is encoded. However, being her sister, I can imagine like Kazna's probably read her diary once or twice. So
Absolutely.
like this happens. It's fine. We don't judge. You can give me a history check to see how much you can remember.
Dear diary, I'm gonna be really mean to Gregor today, and they're not gonna feel bad about it. And because I'm just so mean all the time.
That sounds like her.
Yeah.
That's a 17. I remember reading that entry actually. Wow. That was quite recent.
P.S. I hope the Lich likes me.
You just like Mrs. Zune Brainy, just written in like different calligraphy. It's beautiful. You have a look through, and on a 17, you find notations to Kiriansley's guidance that she gave her, leading her towards greater power, greater like promises of life beyond death. But also there's a couple of not really prayers, but short citations that seem like as close to prayers as Zune ever took note of. That seem to sort of hint at a ritual of sorts. She hasn't gone into too much detail on it, and you're not sure if she ever really performed the ritual herself, but it appears to be something that would be a way to sort of communicate clearly with Kiriansley.
That sounds very mighty helpful in this moment. Is it a ritual that I can feasibly do, or is it going to be like, oh, you need the blood of a lamb and the head of a titan?
It requires a sacrifice of some sort. It would need to be fueled by death. Essentially, from what you can tell, you open up an offering, and through the offering you may speak. But you have to mortally wound someone, and you have until they die. You cannot extend their life. It sort of seems to be like there's no way. You can't just keep making them sip healing potions until you're done with them. It appears to have to be a genuine bargain. So it's difficult, but it's doable.
I'll look up from the book, grinning brightly. Say, Gavin, remember the time recently where you got my sister killed? Do you remember that? Does it on your mind at all?
It haunts me always.
So Would you perhaps feel some element of guilt about it? Any kind of remorse? Any kind of wanting to do the right thing to make it right again?
My life is penance. It always has been.
Well, it's your lucky day, Gavin, and mine too, come to think of it, actually.
Oh, look out, Gavin. She's got that crazy look she gets. When she wants to start playing with knives, I've got cuts you wouldn't want to see.
Ooh. You're probably right.
You see, Gavin, you are a godly man, correct? A man of religion, of faith. I'm sure you, of all people, would know exactly what Kiriansali needs. Exactly the way to gain her favor, to speak with her.
Well, if she is indeed a goddess of death, I'm sure that it has something to do with someone dying or recently deceased.
No. Wow, you do catch on quickly. I'm very impressed. See, Gavin, if you really, really did want to make things right after leaving my sister to die, well, it seems to me there is only one option. This ritual will allow us to speak to her. Gain our favor, gain our entrance, perhaps.
Wait, speak to
Requires
Zune.
a little bit of your blood. Just a little bit.
Zune would love to say hi.
Oh, that was creepy.
That was the voice
That
from
was
beyond.
creepy. So it requires a blood sacrifice.
Oh, a little bit of blood, a lot of blood. What's the difference?
To me, quite a bit.
I like take Casna to the side. I'm like, come over here, honey. So when you say a lot of blood, do you mean like gonna kill Gavin, lots of blood, or do you mean a little prick of a fucking prick?
If he is to die, is that my fault? If my sister was to die from some fool, was that his fault or hers?
Oh man. Gregor's like, that's a good question. I don't know. That's who are we really? I mean, who are any of us, and what does any of the things we do actually mean? But you might not want to kill Gavin, because then it would just be the two of us, and he's got some pretty useful things he can do, like healing us and stuff like that.
It's not my fault if he dies, and besides, I haven't seen him heal anyone as of late. I believe he's giving all to himself.
Well, sometimes you're a little bit greedy on the healing when you're a guy that can heal everyone, I guess.
It's the only explanation as to how he returned and Zune did not.
Or maybe he used it all up on her. I mean, I don't know. We got the semantics. The real thing is we can't kill Gavin just to be able to talk, get a chance to talk to some crazy death god that Zune used to worship. I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, she wasn't exactly a ray of fucking sunshine.
Right,
She was more like a ray of fucking death.
Then who do you propose we kill instead?
I don't know. What about that tiefling back there?
No!
Yes! We have just met her.
I mean, Gregor
Actually,
would.
yeah, we really get right down to it.
Gregor really
We're
would. I
horrible
mean,
people.
Unfortunately, genuinely would. I don't know, does it have to be a person? Could it be... I turn to the horses.
Do we still have the
We
horses?
have, I mean...
We
No,
have
we
my
left them
horse.
behind
We
the
have-
acid lake.
we
Oh,
have-
yours.
We have only mine.
Yeah.
I would rather kill Pain than my horse. I'm sorry, dear. I'm sorry.
Too real. Just honest. I turn to Kazna's horse. What's the name of your horse again, sorry?
Oh, I don't even know.
Pestilence, isn't it?
Pestilence, yeah.
That's
Alright,
Pesty.
Pesty. Pesto. Alright, Pesto. I mean, it looks like you're gonna have to go presto, you know what I mean?
Absolutely not.
Perhaps there's another way. I'm sorry, actually, I'm not involved in this, am I?
Have you been listening to our conversation about us trying
Can
to
I be
kill?
listening in? It
You
is
can
Hex-
roll me. You
it is
guys,
Hex-
I tell you, roll me perception and versus. I tell you what, both of you guys talking quietly can roll me sleight of hand.
Okay. Also, when Tia's back, you can roll a wild magic surge from one.
Oh yeah, I'm doing it.
Great stuff.
I got a 19, so you ain't hearing nothing
I got
about
18.
us trying to
Yeah,
kill you.
Like that, yeah.
Get out of here.
Please
Damn.
understand that I cannot help you look up any of these today.
No, it's all good. I got him. Let's see. So, Pain's wild magic surge somewhere off in the Underdark. Pain 5823. Oh, I didn't search that at all, did I? That was wrong. 5823 is target has a permanent +4 to hit and a +4 damage bonus versus the caster. So versus someone or something or group of people that you can decide upon, Josh.
Or permanently. I thought it said permanently.
It says versus the caster, so it means that there is someone else involved.
I tell you what. What I'll do, I'll bring up. So we'll do this ranger style.
Oh yeah.
So
that's what
how rangers get like a preferred enemy, I will let you pick from the rangers' preferred enemy choices.
Didn't Kazna just say she'd rather kill me than her horse?
I mean,
You are not nearby, unfortunately, because you weren't here. So you decided to go off on your own on a scouting mission.
Can I just pick drow in general? I feel like that kind of fits.
That
Pain.
would actually fit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let you pick.
First
drow.
anti-drow.
right, Gregor will kill you. I'll just watch.
she's
you're-
into that.
what
Against
we
strangers
did.
in the Underdark.
So
There's not much to do in the Underdark.
So yeah, no.
Okay.
So I said
Don't
it,
judge.
when Kaz was like, absolutely not with pestilence. Greg was like, okay, I get it. It's a great horse, but if you're saying someone has to die, I'd rather it was a horse than one of the three of us. I get that you're upset about Zune. I mean, I'm upset about Zune. I wanted to be the one. I wanted to make sure she survived, but you know, we can't just go killing people.
Does it definitely say death, Josh? Just, does it definitely? Is it like terms and conditions? Could
So,
bleed out mostly.
What it seems to be is that when you sacrifice a soul to her, she opens a passage for the soul to travel down. You can essentially shout down that passage, and there's a chance you'll get a reply. That is about the extent of the research that she's managed to do into this. You guys haven't come across like preachers of curiosity or places that have old text or anything that would give you more detail. Really, you're going on the assumptions that Zune has made, and she has made very few.
So we're doing this on a chance.
On a chance to
You
possibly.
are literally just seeing.
Okay. And the ritual, so you kill a person,
Indeed.
and then what does it ask you to do whilst or after to open this gate?
There is you essentially need to carve her sigil into the flesh of this creature, and that has to be before it dies. Then fatally wound it, so slit primary artery or vein or something like that, and then you have as long as it takes to try and communicate with the god. But she does not. She's never attempted this before. It's like on her bucket list. You are helping Zune fulfill her bucket list. I mean, it's really admirable.
Yeah, but I don't want to kill my horse.
I actually have a thought.
Think away.
Well, actually, having seen Pain fly away, I mean, I think no, that's not gonna work either.
Also, Charis knows £6 to give Kazna a natural 20 because her hair's game is on point, and Josh a nat 1, presumably because his hair game isn't on point today.
I see how it is. I see how it is. Okay.
Savagery.
So do you guys approach back over?
Sure. I think.
Do I still have Brainy?
You do indeed still
Oh,
have
yeah.
Brainy with you.
Well,
Brainy
there's
is
another option.
not particularly well.
Oh.
He seems a little off.
He doesn't have a mouth though, does he?
No.
For the potion. Oh no. But anyway, Gavin will say, I'm unable to do it right now, but if I were given time to recover, just as I did back at the city with the pyramid, I could potentially teleport inside through the doors and try to open them from within.
If you were to do so, just on the off chance that whatever's waiting for you inside destroys you, how do you feel about having a little tattoo prior to going in? A little carving, just so we could use your body to good use if you were to fail.
At that point, I figure, as we have been warned, my mind will probably not be my own. And
That would be a shame.
if all you need is a body, I probably don't have much choice now, do I?
Allow me this
like a
one
donut card.
final thing. Zune often attempted to speak to whoever it was at the time she seemed to follow. And not always after killing someone, so perhaps there's another way. I'll just back away from everybody else and just like sit down on my own and try to make a connection to the goddess of death. After my sister's unpartly death, just as you
It's a
do.
Tuesday night.
Casual Tuesday
We've all
night.
been there. Do the Tuesday.
Okay. So you're trying to communicate with.
Curiosity without doing the ritual.
Okay, right. You can roll me a religion check.
Or can I use my nat 20?
You can indeed use your nat 20.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to give you a D100.
Oh, God.
You can roll a D100. What level are you?
12.
Level 12. Okay. You were looking to get as close to 1 as possible, as low as physically possible.
Can I use my nat 1?
No, I have got a nat 1, damn it.
I have a nat 1 as well. I have 1. Can I use it?
You can use
DM decides.
a
Yeah.
D100. A D100.
Oh shit!
For fuck's sake.
Holy crap. Okay.
Wrong
You,
direction.
you can ask
97
One-
questions.
You can ask, you can ask 3 questions, understanding that you will get only a 1-word answer, and I will tell you right now, I make no promises that they will be truthful. Because that is a 97. That is like
Yes,
crit
it
fail on a D100. And it's one off crit fail, so So you can have 3 questions to Kyrianslee, the goddess of death in the Underdark.
How do we get in? Will be the first question. That's the main one.
One-word answers.
She can be riddleistic, be like, flight, and I'll be like, cool, go over. Second question. What really happened to Zune? And
Oh, good job.
third question. What do you want?
Pineapple.
I was trying to think if foot rub is all one word. Like,
Day spa.
you
Same.
okay. So your questions, just one more time for chat. Your questions are
How do we get in?
okay.
What really happened to Zune, and what do you want?
Okay. How do we get in? The first answer you get is quietly.
That's helpful.
Little weirdly loud voice.
She yells it.
Quietly.
I'm in the library. Yeah. Second question: what really happened to Zune? repurposed.
That's not good.
That's not freaking creepy at all.
I mean, it makes sense after what happened in the secret moment last time. It's all coming together.
Third,
In the secret.
in the secret moment.
The moment we
Like
never talk
the
about.
like the Twilight Zone intro.
So
In the
before
secret
Hex was about to pee his pants, now he's shitting his pants.
And the final one, what does she want?
She being Curiosity, not Zune. Just
Okay, what does she want? Retribution.
that's fair. I can relate. I can relate to this woman. That was helpful. Great.
How was that?
Best time of my life.
What'd she see?
She said the way to get in is quietly, which was very helpful.
Okay.
Other than that, she gave some revelations, I guess you'd call it, about Zune.
Such as?
Such as... Well, dead isn't quite the way I put it.
And I look towards Hex. Oh. Interesting.
So I guess we'll just wait and see where that one goes.
You ask her anything else?
She said she wanted retribution,
Oh.
which could mean anything. It could mean against Lolf, it could mean, well,
Or against Zune? Let's say again, looking at Kevin.
perhaps. She wasn't very talkative.
Alright.
However, the main task still at hand is to get into this place. And quietly is as quietly does. We could just go for it.
Okay. What do you want to do?
Well, we need to get in.
The upper levels, the girl said, were damaged. Perhaps it is that we need to climb. We have your rope.
Yeah, I can do a bit of fucking climbing. Get out my rope.
Yeah.
Let's fucking go for it. No fucking killing anybody. Do it quietly. No fucking killing anybody. And I start tossing my rope up the fungus
Sorry.
wall.
As
A resplendent
Gregor
offering.
steps forward, making a makeshift sort of grappling hook out of bits and pieces that he's got kicking around in his backpack, and attempting to get it hooked in place, standing quite far apart from each other. Both Hex and Kazna look up at the sheer size of the task ahead. 2 miles of uneven surfaces and very few places to rest along the way that lead up towards the ceiling and hopefully a way into the city without being seen. And as they look up, somewhere above, a tiefling spreads her wings and throws herself up a little bit higher, trying to gain the altitude, looking for the way she initially escaped.
And then she gets 2 nat 20s and a tentacle from Stump.
2 nat 20s and a tentacle.
The
Oh,
name of my autobiography.
Yep.
2 nat 20s and a tentacle, yeah, indeed.
2 pints longer to pack it, Chris, please.
Yes!
Wait, what?
Oh,
2
British.
nat 20s and a tentacle, please. It's
You got a tentacle.
A D25.
Oh, God. It's my first tentacle of the season.
Oh.
I'm so excited for this.
Congrats.
D100?
D25, actually.
D25.
D25, okay.
Tentacling.
One.
Whoa.
Yep.
Oh, you
Oh.
get
Okay,
my
this
one.
better be like the ultimate tentacle.
You're gonna,
You get Will's tentacle?
You're gonna like this. You get my tentacle.
No.
And you get it for a whole week. So
No,
this,
no.
do you want to know what this tentacle is called? It's called the Milky Tentacle.
Yes!
The tentacle was born from a tentacle cow and as such provides delicious products to its wielder. The effect of this tentacle is the wielder can take an action to create 1 liter of milk, cheese, or mayonnaise which can be used 3 times per day before the tentacle runs dry.
Okay, I tell you what.
You're welcome.
You are super edgy. This makes coffee creamer. So you can have like it's
like
soya.
lattes.
All of it is soya as well. All of it is soya. Only the best for
It's a
pain.
soy tentacle.
It's a soy tentacle.
How much?
Great soy
How much
product.
in volume can I do this
1
again? Can
liter,
I-
3 times per
One.
day, so you can get 3 liters.
I was gonna say, can I put like 3 liters of like creamer on the ground? Just have people like slip up in that shit?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, guys.
Okay,
I'm gonna.
wait.
Can everyone, all the players, roll me a d2, everyone.
It's
just-
0.65
Roll your
gallons.
lactose intolerance check.
Yep, there we go.
Oh god, me too.
I took got one.
Yeah.
That's not one. Or
I don't know what it's
Soy
that.
Okay,
Don't
so
mind.
Louise, you are the only member of the group who's not lactose intolerant. There you are. Everyone else,
That's it.
yeah. So
That's it.
luckily,
Well,
we'll keep it soya.
my
We'll keep it
one
soya.
weakness.
It's like you.
Lactose.
Oh,
I
God.
always
Wait,
die like
didn't you
lactose
eat your
boss.
nipple?
Yeah.
Your nipple lactate? Oh god.
Ew.
Right.
I
So
always die like nipple boss. The lactate always gets me.
So you guys have the opportunity to sort of try and climb up, but Payne's gone ahead to scout out the area. And Payne, I'm gonna need first of all, I'm gonna need a perception check as you try and find a crack in the structure, in the outer shell, in the defensive layer of the city.
Also figured to Pathia Risen gives a magic item to Pain. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you so
Nice.
much. I apologize. Moving around my character sheet is super slow right now, so that perception check should be Woo. Wait, that's Zune. No, I'm
Oh,
so
it feels bad.
character sheet.
She's back. She's back, everybody.
Delete the character sheet.
Canon. She's back.
Oh my god, soon confirmed.
Oh no, I'm sad now. Okay, there we
It's
go.
okay. I tell you what, I
The
can make,
Zune was better.
I don't want to talk about it. Make my lattes over here.
okay. I tell you what, I'm gonna make this easier for you. There we go. I've removed Zune from your.
Ah, God.
Wow.
There we go. So on a fight,
That's just brutal.
I know. I've removed Zune from your command. There you are. So you begin to sort of scale the outside of like this huge sphere that protects the city, and as you get sort of pretty high up, like almost 3/4 of the way up, you see what is essentially looks like a huge piece of stone from the ceiling that has fallen and cracked part of the outer defense, and it is still embedded in place. And you notice that there is like a spider web of cracks that have spread out that you're pretty sure have got worse since you were last here. It takes you quite a few moments to sort of locate it, and as you get closer, you realize that it appears that the way you initially came out has essentially been blocked in places. You would need to try and sort of clear the rocks. But everything like the structure that you'd be landing on, it's almost you're talking about like a 45-degree angle that you'd be standing on up here. So you're quite high up. But you could sort of get onto the outer dome, as it were, and try and make your way through like clearing stone and like cracked masonry to make your way into the city. But it'd probably be quite a difficult task to accomplish on your own.
How did I end up leaving them behind? The last thing I remember is we were all standing at the gate together. So where
You
are they
decided to go off on your own on a scouting mission to find the way you snuck out.
at? Okay. Well, I'm not really all about making a whole bunch of noise in the Underdark, so in that case, if I didn't find anything on my scouting mission, I'd probably just turn around and head back to them to tell them what I saw.
So eventually Payne comes rushing back like an old familiar friend to you guys, and lands nearby dramatically as fuck.
Always with a superhero pose on landing.
Always.
Oh, great. She's back.
Everyone just pulls out carving knives.
Were you able to find anything?
There's a way that's covered in rock ahead, but I don't think we could get through. Unless maybe we used you. You're pretty big.
Okay. We had another idea, but you would like that.
Gregor. Well, no, Gregor.
Hey.
Are you still? Do you have another? Can you vomit again today?
Sure, I can vomit multiple times per day, mate. Just give me 10 minutes and I'll do it again.
Lava versus fungus. I assume lava wins.
Well, that's not very quiet, is the thing, though.
Ah, that's true.
I mean, that's the only thing. I mean, I'm happy to vomit.
Thunder is not very quiet either.
I'm happy to vomit on fucking anything. You know, I'll vomit on, fungus. I'll vomit on fucking kids. You know, it doesn't matter to me. But it's not very quiet. Particularly when it's the kids. They scream a lot.
I don't understand what you guys are talking about.
I produce a little bit of vomit.
Ah.
Yeah. And the magma pours out of Gregor's mouth and like burns through a bunch of fungus.
Yeah, there is a tiny spatter of quickly cooling molten rock.
I, in general, look concerned, but don't say anything else.
Tiny bits of corn just in the cooling rock.
I'm trying to remember, did Payne carry Gregor before, or did I teleport him?
I carried Kazna, I think.
Yeah, I think you teleported me. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
me
he-
and Edge,
she teleported Kazna with Dimension Door, I believe. And
Yes.
you,
And then my horse just
Yeah.
walked by.
your horse was like, acid, lol. do.
Seeing Gregor like vomit actual lava and everybody just being kind of so nonchalant about that, do I like get the impression that he's an avatar of like a god or something? Because that's some pretty crazy.
Give me a religion check.
Oh my
I
god.
am the Avatar. It all changed when the fucking fire vomit nation came.
He's most likely an avatar of Moradin, the dwarven god of creation, born of the volcanoes that you've heard legend of.
Is that why the meteor crashed into the ground? Are you Moradin?
Yeah, that's me.
Sup?
Gregor's like, yep.
I get on my knees and pay homage in the best way I think possible. My character's blown away right now. Like,
Kaz just gives the longest suffering sigh she's ever done in her life. No.
There's no need to do that, Payne. I'm just chilling here.
just kind of stand up and like brush my legs off and kind of look at him with like, whoa.
Just doing fucking Moradin things, Just Moradin things.
Gregor, are you quite done?
Sure. I mean, do you want me to vomit or not? I mean, that is the question. To vomit or not to vomit?
Well, it's not the quietest, but
I mean, there are louder
I mean,
things.
it's quick. It's quick. It's easy. It's fun.
I like all those things. Not the quietest, but it's quick and it's easy and it's fun. All right. Yeah, Gregor will vomit on this fungus in our way. You're muted, Josh. Oh, also, we have a viewer decision as well.
Holy crap, snacks. Okay. No, so you go up. There is no way that it's this fungus appears to be pretty resilient, but lava is lava at the end of the day. As you just and use your daily use, it just melts away this mess of fungus, and it doesn't, you're not going to like melt through the entire door, but you watch as there is like a ripple that passes through this fungus, and it seems to sort of pull backwards quickly. And you watch as sort of it almost folds inwards like a fan, but huge portions of it are sort of burnt beyond belief. And there is like at least space for you could probably pull a cart through it.
Okay.
It's a sizable.
So what I'm hearing is I'm Qui-Gon Jinn in Phantom Menace, and I'm going through the blast shields with my vomit.
Yeah, this is entirely true. This is what it is.
Good. All right, that looks like it should have cleared the fucking way.
And then droider cars come, and it's super exciting. Take them to Camp 4.
Roger. All right, that's it'll literally never stop. Well, let's get the fucking high ground and press on through.
So on the other side, guys, I want you in chat to tell me what the first city building they come across is. That's what I want to know from you guys. What was the first city building that they came across? So, you know, is it a stable? Is it a keep? Is it a butcher's shop? Is it a gift shop? Is it a tourist trap? Like, tell me, let me know. As Gregor melts his way through, you notice that there is a huge plume that suddenly kicks up. It's right in your face, Gregor. It is like it's almost like gold, like a shimmering dust that just explodes outwards from this. But the second, it seems to come out, you watch as the fire, the heat from the flames seems to push through it, and it ripples through the fog around it, and just seems to burn it up. It's almost like watching sort of fire pass through like a gas sort of leak. It just ripples outwards, and then in a second it's gone. Gregor, you're absolutely fine. Everyone near Gregor gets a sudden wash of heat as Gregor bursts into flames for a split second, and is just standing there smoldering ever so slightly. Of course, you are Gregor Tuscan, so...
Yeah, I got shake it off after a second, crack my neck. Sorry about that. All good. Everyone okay?
Are you?
Me? Oh yeah, no. I'm completely impervious to fire, be it Moradin and all.
Right, no, cool.
Hey, Payne, you literally watch him erupt into flames and be completely unfazed by it. I mean, you have, resistance to fire from, your hide and your demonic heritage, but goddamn, what a guy. What a
god.
Gregor Tuscan, what a guy.
What a god, I mean.
What a god that guy is.
If you're Moradin, then I'm Kiriansali.
There you go. From her words.
I'd be into that, sure.
So you also have. Actually, give me another religion check real quick, Tia. Let's see what you got.
If you are Polish Lord, then I am Mickey Mouse. You do have the tapestries. By the way, the poll is up, guys, so you can click to vote. It should be working on mobile nowadays as well. Twitch extension should be working on mobile, so go ahead and vote, Arena.
Okay, so on a 17, I mean, you look at, she is a drow, everything like that. There's a chance, maybe she really is Kiriansali, and you look over at Gavin/Hex, and I mean, he's a one-armed big dude, looks pretty tough. I mean, there is that god Torm who only has one hand. Maybe you've come across a party of gods who are just trolling around in the Underdark. Who knows? Okay, just saying.
Kind of take a step back.
Well, I should have felt that
The
scene.
wings a little bit, land slightly farther away.
Are we all right?
What are y'all doing in the Underdark, anyways? I know we had touched upon this briefly, but if he's Moradin, then who the fuck are you?
Good question.
Gavin, or Hex playing Gavin, no one of consequence.
That sounds like what God would say.
Does it really matter? Pain, was it?
I guess maybe I have a little bit more value on my soul for all eternity. It does
I mean, who are any of us? I mean, on the outside, we all look like we might be one thing, but on the inside, we can be completely different people. Isn't that right, Gavin?
Yes, that's quite astute of you, Gregor.
I wouldn't know anything about that though. And then Gregor starts shouting because he's lying.
I mean, Kazna knows that Gregor shouts when he lies. It's gonna turn.
And then at this point, Gregor steps through. So
I was just very slowly. Follow.
Gregor, you step through like essentially a tunnel which looks to be sort of an outbuilding that you have just slagged beyond all belief. Like it's just melting and sizzling at the edges. There is a bit of fire, but as you come through, you step out. Gregor Tuscan, you step out into like what at first seems to be like huge, like hanging like moss of some sort. But it's hard to make out with your vision. Everything seems to be sort of glowing red. And then as you push through it, you realize that it's not just glowing red, it is red. It is a huge pair of red curtains, and you come out on stage at a brothel. It appears to be entirely abandoned, but Gregor Tuscan, you're on stage. What do you do?
how big is this brothel? How many clientele might I be looking at
Like
if this were
right now, if you were on stage during prime time, you'd probably have like 80 to 90 randy people looking at you, and they wouldn't be cramped together like big booths. You can see there are tables with like smaller poles and like private booths and like sections. There's a lovely bar to one side, which is sort of one end of the bar has broken through the floor, and so the whole bar is like at a jaunty angle. Seems to be like foot hanging off into the cellar. But you are on stage. You have a pole on either side if you feel like it. You've also got like laying scattered around like what appear to be like scraps of clothing that are partially rotted. So I mean, they'd probably be extra skimpy. Like what kind of a number? I want a cabaret.
Well, you know, Gregor, hands on hips, comes out and is like,
Yes.
all right, my kind of place. Hey guys, come on through. It's a brothel. I mean, I've never been to one of these before. He says his Castor comes through. I've never been to one of these before.
Go to a brothel
I
together.
have never gone to one of these before.
Oh,
This is
shame.
the first time I've ever
I've been
been.
to many.
Gregor, back in the Orc Wastes, we all went to the brothel together.
Yeah. I
So
didn't
your second.
remember that.
It's your second.
This is my
brothel.
second one ever.
Also, Gregor, remind me to ask you more about what you meant, you know, with the people being different. I'd like to learn more. It's very astute. Very
That's just reminded me of how much I love you.
Oh, I love you too. Anyway, we're in a brothel, so let's look around. Or
Gregor starts like sweating so hard. Yeah, just look around. Gregor starts just looking at anything.
As you guys come through, the first thing you will notice is something above the bar. It's a sign. It is written in Dark Elvish. Kazna, you can read it. Names this place the Platinum Python.
oh damn!
Really?
Come on.
Oh,
Of course
yes.
it is. Of course it is.
I'll give that sign a nod of respect.
I tip my hat in that direction.
To you. And yeah, so are we looking for the way out? to
Yeah,
get
we're
into-
look for the door.
As you come through into this establishment, you can see that like as you sort of come down, immediately sort of it looks like there's sort of like spotlights on you, but there are just holes in the ceiling that are sort of shining lights, and it just happens to all spotlight on where Gregor has come through dramatically. And sort of stepping out of the glare,
offering.
you know, that limelight fades, and you see the sort of the glitz and the glamour fade, and realize that this place is rotting from the inside. It has what looks like water damage. A lot of the tables and chairs have sort of been knocked over in places, and there appears to be sort of wreckage around the doors. There are things like all of like the bar seems to be relatively intact, other than sort of half sunk for the door. Like everything behind it seems that you have like drinks, you have like, no food that you can see, but all the bottles in like the silverware seems to still be there. Nothing has been claimed.
And then somewhere else on the earth, where Scab is, he gets 4 wild magic surges from his reaver.
Oh,
Yes!
He hasn't died yet.
Scab,
His actually has been pretty benign.
Yeah,
other
Scab
than
got
him
some.
aging.
Yeah, he got some interesting
He's just
ones.
a teenager. He's a teenager with
Yeah,
a lot of weird quirks at the moment.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a long march without some of these. Alright.
without Scab, yeah.
5609. Scab embraces a wacky cult founded by a hack writer.
Of course he does.
Wait, hold on.
He's
Sorry,
a
he was.
Mormon. He's a Mormon. He embraces a wacky cult founded by a hack writer.
So Scab started
Leave
writing.
him alone for like a week.
Scab started writing like poetry, like really angsty teen poetry.
Oh man,
while-
if anyone in chat watches the Call of Cthulhu, it's a Ryan Hawkes cult because he's a hack writer as well. Okay, beautiful. 5084. That's good.
Cultist. My boy is a cultist.
Scab believes that he will vanish forever if he leaves this area. Oh no! If
he can never leave. He's become institutionalized, guys.
Yeah, he's not even trying
You
to get
don't
out.
understand.
We can forcibly remove him from the area.
Yeah. Okay.
If you do that, I'm dead to you. Like, if you do that, I am dead to the world,
He's
okay?
a Scientologist.
God, my boy.
Oh my god. Okay, 6968. Scab's attempts at tracking invariably lead to his own trail. He can only ever find his own
He's
trail.
trying to find us, and he keeps coming back.
No. You know what? He's trying to find himself in jail. That's...
Oh,
When you
Yeah.
say jail, he's being suspended above the city.
He's being held above the city with a flawless cell, yeah.
And last but not least, cryptic symbols flash constantly across his forehead. He's fucking Harry Potter.
He is. He's joined a wizard cult. Oh no.
I'm gonna go to Hogwarts,
Wizard
Dad.
cult.
Oh, man.
Oh
Oh.
no, he's Harry Potter.
Prisoner of Azkaban, anyone? Like,
Oh no.
Yeah, he comes out, he's like, I did my time! 13 years of it!
That makes
In Drow Kazan!
Wow,
Only one will die tonight!
Oh my god.
Poor
Oh, yeah. That makes this either the big brain Voldemort or the Lich we're gonna kill Voldemort. Oh, we have to kill him so we can save Harry Potter. Oh,
You guys have been hunting for Horcruxes, right?
Well, to be honest, Scab is the boy who lived. You know?
He is the boy who lives.
oh, come
Been
on.
through so much stuff.
He is.
Oh, I can't wait to see him again. I hope he survives.
All
Yeah,
right.
and actually, just like Daniel Radcliffe, aged 20 years in the course of 4 years of school.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
So,
Good.
holy shit. Scab, my man.
I just have a sudden ache in my chest. I'm like, something's happened to Scab.
Scab just has an ache in his arms. He's just literally been hanging for so long. It's like,
Dude,
it's just- yeah.
he's gonna be buff as hell. He's gonna be
He's gonna-
having done pull-ups. He's
yeah,
gonna do
he's
this.
just gonna come out just ripped as shit. Yeah. So yeah, you guys come out and see that this place is sort of pretty trashed. There's chaos everywhere. And there appear to be sort of doors that lead. There seems to be doors that lead to the entranceway.
So there's no one here. This
No,
is an empty
no.
prisoner
There's
cage.
no one here. There's no trace.
Okay.
There's no blood. There's nothing.
Okay.
It is just. But everywhere you look, as you look around, sort of, there's that horrible taste in the back of your mouth. That kind of that dry, itchy sort of horribleness that it just lingers in the air. That sort of permeates everything.
Pollen season in Georgia.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, actually, Will knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So you. Yeah.
So are we inside? Are we outside the brothel? Or are we inside?
You're inside, in the main area, the main hall.
I'll be looking for the door to the way out.
Yep, that's.
They always make them difficult to find in this place. It's easy to get in, but getting out is a whole new different thing.
Also, I've heard.
That's
You,
right. I wouldn't know, though. I wouldn't know. Never been.
As you're walking along, give me a dex save, Kazna.
Great. I will. I'd love to. That's 12.
Zune. Sorry,
Why?
I mean the
Why?
living sister. Lol.
Why?
Kazna, you're walking forward and you hear like Gregor muttering to himself about sort of like, you know, how it's difficult to get out. And as you turn to look at him, he's just like, not that I know. And suddenly, with a deep sigh, the floor gives way beneath you and you fall straight through the floor,
Straight into
landing
hell. What?
landing prone in a completely dark room. You guys just watch it, like, it's not even a big cave in. Like, Zune just steps on a bad bit of floorboard and the boards around her just
It's
break.
not Zune, Josh.
It's Zune. Can you guys change your names in the
You
Zoom call,
guys-
please?
Wait, are just doing this to screw with me now, and I hate all of you so much. Crying.
So upset.
Not even so.
It's like you've got me old man syndrome where I can't remember anyone's name from scene to scene.
Yeah. So you guys see that, yeah.
So
Basically.
Kazna falls down. I gotta immediately, like, you know, jump in
Oh, yeah,
or jump down
Gavin
after her.
starts diving after her as well.
Or like, I get to the edge and I look over first in case it is like a pit of eternal doom that she's just got into.
In that case,
I was so excited for all of you to just go like jump in without looking at all.
Well, I can jump in after her. I can fly, so.
So Pain
How'd
goes
that work
straight
for
in.
Zune?
Can I see
yeah,
the
save your
garage?
mistress.
I can see.
I don't like Drow, though. Would I want to save her?
I mean,
I've not been bad.
If you
I'm
do
a
it in
goddess.
private, you can get away with it, I hear.
yes.
She's falling. Oh, heavens.
Oh shit! And as Pain has this moment, Isriva, 15 pounds, a tentacle for Pain.
No, you guys are the worst.
Oh.
Okay.
D25.
I don't want
D25.
I don't want to.
I don't want another tentacle.
And yet you must.
Another low.
Oh, a tentacle of living water slivers up your arm and wraps itself over one shoulder and under the opposite arm. You can just make out glimmering scales along the side of the tentacle. It wraps itself around you. Over the next hour, the watery tentacle constricts, inflicting 10% of your max health and damage every 10 minutes. You have to get rid of this thing, else it kills you. You're welcome.
Yes. So, real quick, because there is something that I just realised that I believe Zuna. No, oh my god.
Don't.
I believe Pain had a magic item donated as well.
That is correct.
That is
Yes.
correct.
Give me a D100. And
Oh.
let's see, because you were down in the brothel where nobody goes, and there's a great big tentacle.
How am I going to get this thing off of me?
Getting off tentacles in a brothel.
98. That is
Definitely not my
good,
first.
right? For magic
Abby?
items? That's
Yeah, high numbers are always
I know they're
good.
usually good.
Okay.
Okay.
If you give me a phylactery, I'm quitting this campaign.
Oh, God. That Pain gets a phylactery.
You know, if we just keep saying Zune's name, maybe she'll reappear. Maybe she's like that when you look in the mirror and say her name too many times, she just comes out and gets you. The new Drow boogeyman.
That's definitely like a scary story like Gregor would tell Scab at night.
Your Auntie Zune will come in.
Yeah.
Oh my god, okay, right. We've got some options here. I can't pick. I'm going to need a D4 from you.
Oh, 1d4. 3. 3's good.
Okay, on a 3, you have, what is it? 98. Right, I gotta look this up real quick. I just gotta have a quick.
So this thing is going to constrict on me every 10 minutes for 10% of my health, and if I don't get it off me,
So you die in an
I'm gonna
hour.
die in
Well,
an hour.
yeah.
I'm gonna die in an hour.
Yep.
Well,
Well,
wait
little
a
bit
second.
more. Yeah, math is hard,
Oh,
but
for
yeah.
10% of your maximum health.
Okay.
Because I was like, I was like, how can it ever kill you then? The math doesn't work. It's because it's 10% of your maximum
Yeah,
health.
not your current health, yeah.
I don't have any teleport or anything like that on this character, or Misty Step or something that I could get away with it. Okay. Okay.
Oh
Have
my
you tried
god.
talking to it?
Oh my god.
I don't even know what it is. I could dispel magic?
Spell tentacle.
Dispel tentacle?
Okay, right. I'm oh, you're gonna be so angry.
Oh no. It is. It's a phylactery.
No, it's something else.
If it's the potion of lichdom, I'll punch you.
Oh no. It's not that bad, but it's pretty bad considering. Okay, so you have this is 100%. You can look this up. I picked from like several that would be appropriate. You have found the Tome of Clear Thought.
Oh,
This
dope,
book
I have that in my
contains-
campaign.
This book contains memory and logic exercises, and its words are charged with magic. If you spend 48 hours over a period of 6 days or fewer studying the book's contents and practicing its guidelines, your intelligence score increases by 2, as does your maximum for that score. The manual then loses its magic, but regains it once a century. That can take your intelligence as high as 24.
Ah! Okay.
Yeah, Zoom wouldn't have wanted that at all.
Wouldn't have wanted that at all.
Fine.
I never wanted that anyway. It's fine. It's fine.
It's fine. I didn't want those.
need it.
It's cool. I'm just gonna be a really smart bard now.
Just what we need.
There we go. Holy shit. So, yeah, you have you basically land in what appears to be similar actually to what you found before in the last brothel you were in, almost like an underground sort of, maybe an auction room, maybe like a private area for like hosting VIPs. You're not really sure. It's pretty dark, and you've landed smashed down on the floor. And Payne, you feel something as you fly in and see that Kazna is lying on the floor. Kazna, if you can roll me 4d6, please.
I'd love nothing more than to roll you 4d6.
That's good, because that's exactly what I want from you.
Can
What
I
a
see
coincidence.
anything around me as this is happening?
You can see the light above you getting smaller as you fall, and then you take 8 piercing damage as something punctures through your shoulder when you hit the floor. And as soon as you sort of try and look around, there's like bright light in your face. Then you look around into the darkness, and the light vanishes because Payne is above you. Payne, you see she's been mildly impaled by a sharded off piece of wood. And as you land near her, Payne, to sort of see if you can lift her, sort of what the situation is, something slithers its way up your leg and wraps itself around you and takes 10% of your health, like a bitch. It's all good. All good.
I'm gonna toss my rope down there when I get the chance.
You get to the edge, rope goes straight down. It does not go far. It's probably about sort of 12 foot.
I can try and like ferry them down, I guess, or at least like follow style.
Cool. As you try to take off, you find you are anchored to the ground by this strange thing that is lassoed around you. There appears to be a very large, very quivering vine wrapped around your midsection, and it begins to squeeze.
Okay, that's not good. I'd take my dagger and just try to cut it quickly.
Make me an attack. A 10, you slice into this thing, but your blade just seems to, like, as you like draw it across with quite a lot of quite a lot of desperation just in that slice, you don't manage to cut through sort of the outer layer of it. This thing is deceptively sturdy. You got second attack?
No, I do not have a second attack in one turn unless we start going into initiative, but I don't really... Wait, could I not have, like, Hellish Rebuked that if it was coming onto me?
You can try and Hellish Rebuke it right now if you want.
Oh.
Nice.
I'll allow it. Because it is still hurting you.
I'm new at Tieflings. Hey?
There we go. It is
23. or depending on its save.
For this. On a 14, it fails, and it takes full damage, and this thing burns its connection with the floor. It just torches it, and you see something pull back, sort of flailing slightly into the darkness of the room. You sort of hear it sliding across the floor with this horrible, wet, slick sound. But there is still a piece of it attached to you. It seems to have stopped sort of like trying to constrict, but you can see that as you look down, it appears to have sort of fused almost with your clothing.
And I'm still attached to the ground with it?
No, you've severed the connection. This thing seems to have been cut free and has stopped trying to crush you, but it's still very firmly attached to you. It's
if it's just attached to my clothing, can I like cut the clothing off that it's attached to? Or
yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
yeah. I don't know what is going on with that, but I don't want it anywhere near my stuff. So I kind of frantically cut my pant leg or whatever it's attached to.
It's like around your midriff. Like
really?
Yeah.
Okay. Have I seen anything like this before? I don't think Payne really is a botanist, but
you can roll me a nature check.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On a 5, it's probably a stinging nettle, like, or something like, ivy. Who knows?
Poison ivy.
Yeah, poison ivy. Like, it's whatever. But you like begin to cut and like end up with sort of like a belly shirt, like as you've kind of cut it off, and you see that as you hold it up in the light, as Kazna, you witnessed all of this happen just in front of you.
Just lying on the ground, taking it all in.
It appears to have like almost tiny like roots seem to have pushed into the fabric of your clothing and interwoven with the fabric of your clothing. You have a red, almost like a burn around your midsection, as if like you've had a layer of skin stripped from you. It is unpleasant. It is raw. It is red. It is uncomfortable.
I look over to Kazna. What are you doing? Are you just like knocked out?
Kazna's basically been winded for a second and has something punched through her shoulder. And Kazna, you are able to just as sort of like you recover, a rope nearly hits you in the face.
Take the rope. I'll hold you up.
I haven't, like, if I look at Payne, is she tentacled? Is
like as you look up, she's basically just like you have just enough time to see her draw her dagger, cut this tentacle thing off, and begin to sort of slice her clothing to get this thing off of her. And as it comes away, there's like slight. It's not really blood. It's just almost like discharge in like the worst possible way. It's. When you've just gone through a few layers of skin, you don't get blood, but you get like that horrible...
Pussy, gross, yeah.
Well, she seems to have that covered.
Plasma, yes, that is a word.
Take the rope.
Fucking leave her, Kaz! And she's got wings, she can fly! I hold her up.
Okay. Get on the rope. Thank you, I... don't know what happened there, but
looks like a full for the ground.
As you suddenly like you shoot up quite a speed and end up like Gregor, almost like Gregor, you feel the floor under you creak as you are pulling up Kazna, but you manage to get her up relatively quickly, leaving Payne alone down there. Payne, you see that there are cabinets and chests, and this appears to be a place that once had quite a bit of wealth in it. But you notice, sat in a chest, there is sort of on a pile of scrolls and other things, there is a book. This book itself is like wrapped in like a. You can tell it's a book, but like by like its shape, but it has like a canvas bag that goes around it like a satchel with a single buckle that locks in place. and everything else in the pile seems to sort of like have been heavily water damaged down here. But this thing seems to be in relatively okay condition.
Do I think I'm gonna take another tentacle to the face if I fly on over there and try to just like swoop the satchel?
I mean, it's poison ivy. Like, I think you're overreacting. It's literally just poison ivy. What's there to worry about?
What could possibly happen? Okay, I fly on
I saw
over,
those fucking Batman movies.
take the cursed item. No.
As you go to pick it up, roll me a dex save.
Oh.
Can I use my nat 20?
You
Please?
can
There's an
indeed.
idea.
Yeah, hey.
You go to pick it up, and as you do, something comes siphoning through the air, and you just have time to literally almost like lean back on your wings, just like matrix
Yeah, I know what
underneath it, and it just whips across your face and is gone into the darkness again. And as your eyes sort of adjust to the darkness, you see what looks like a tentacle slithering back through a crack in the wall.
Take the money and run, grab the bag as fast as I can,
Grab-
and fly away. My movement speed is pretty good. No, I'm 30, never mind.
Yeah, you can double move. You can make it
Yeah.
60. You just straight out, and like she comes out like breaking like bits at the edge of the hole as sort of like, you know, her wings pushing forward, and pain sort of explodes out from the floor, looking a little shaken.
You right there, Pin?
I think I'm okay. I've never experienced poison ivy before.
Oh.
You guys will see she's got a pretty nasty like strip cut from her
Dumb, edgy teenager. It's so
wings,
bad.
from her waist.
Yeah, looks pretty bad. You might want to do something about that.
Gregor, you've heard like dock leaves are helpful.
Yeah, Doc needs to pretty good for it. Gav, you can heal, right?
I'd like to do a medicine check.
'Cause at this
Sure.
point, I don't think Gregor actually knows that Hex can't heal, so I think he suspects that there's something going on there. But
Yeah.
Give me a medicine, buddy.
You
I'm gonna
might
use one of my. Actually, I'm gonna do my medicine check, and if I fail, I am going to nat 20 a deception check and cast minor illusion
Okay.
to look like I.
The healer in the party, ladies and gentlemen.
That's 22 medicine.
The
Such
power of
confidence.
placebo.
Yes. So
On a 22, it looks. No?
Pain. There's many creams and ointments that help. Can I borrow your tentacle to put some? It'll be very soothing. Milk tends to pull the sting out of poison ivy.
don't think I could say no to the gods. But once you're done, do you mind helping me with this? I say to the water. I'm not sure what
Is
this
it? It's unattached though, right?
It's like constricting me like slowly. From what I understood, it kind of like looped around my
I thought you
arm.
got
And, like,
rid of
around my-
No. That's that was what was like around your.
Oh, yeah, it's
Oh,
there's
okay.
not more on
Okay,
there.
never mind
You've-
then.
No, yeah.
Redcon.
this is perfect because Charis donates £5 to give a wild magic surge to Pain as Hex is healing.
Yes,
Oh,
Perfect.
this could be amazing.
but it won't be.
But no, yeah.
Whether it backfires on me or
But it will be fine.
528.
Ooh, low numbers,
Super
that's-
low.
low
Super
numbers.
low.
Oh my god, this is the
Oh.
perfect surge for Holly Conrad. Caster can summon up to 1d10 pigeons per month.
Per
Per
month.
month you can summon 1d10 pigeons.
I tell you what, I'll allow you to pick the bird, and
Carrier pigeons.
I'll allow you to pick the bird. So if you want it to be like, if you want it to be doves or like ravens or.
I want it to be parrots. I love parrots. I love birds. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Wait, hang on, can we pause?
I love birds.
the dark
Gavin heals
edgy.
you and suddenly
the dark
I was
edgy-
gonna say
parrots.
I was gonna say underduck, but that doesn't
The
exist here. So the underduck, but
Underdog.
yeah, parrots. Yeah, it's a creature I'm working on. Don't worry.
So is Gavin trying to heal
Working
you
on it.
whilst parrots are flying around?
I just
And
want
for my
to hear
next
it.
trick,
I don't know, DM. Yeah, what's the sequence of this? Let's see. Tentacle juice, fake healing, and parrots.
So, you use this like wand of making sort of milk appear,
I can't
and
breathe.
sort of like you're just like massaging it into like the wound, and it seems to actually do something to reduce the swelling and pain. You do feel a little bit better, but at one point that you get like a clog, like you get a clog in the nozzle, and you just like and as you sort of flick it once, a parrot just appears. Like a tiny little, yeah.
Does this belong to you?
Does this belong to you?
Yes.
Can I use this moment to insight Gavin, because what the fuck is happening here? Trying to heal someone.
Well, you can insight me
You
that.
can insight Gavin all
Gavin
you want.
doesn't the fuck know.
I would assume that it's probably not acting properly due to the fact of your godly magics.
Not acting properly due to godly magics.
That's a
Why is it-
6.
why is he
I'm just
slightly
like,
Irish?
okay.
It's weird. It's like a fucking leprechaun.
It's an Irish parrot.
It's like my mate, Angel Cock.
Angel cock!
You know him?
I'm gonna start leaving the brothel.
Oh,
Kazna's just done with all of us.
There's parrots and angels.
oh
and-
man, Israel, a £5
Tentacles.
donation. I can't help myself. I'm sorry, Will. Wild magic surge for scab. This will be the last one I inflict on the poor boy this week. God damn it, Israel.
Azraven.
All right, you want to roll that one, Josh?
We are going to have the edgiest teen novel heartthrob ever when we're done.
What fucking happens to fucking Harry Potter next?
Oh, that's a big.
The unreleased books.
He is the cursed child.
Yeah. Scab's weapon is bent into the shape of a paperclip. It's the
No.
It's the fucking
Oh.
paperclip helper from
No.
Microsoft. Were you trying
Hey!
to print?
So you're trying to escape from jail. Need some help with that?
Dink, dink.
Good. Just what we needed.
I have no words.
All right, I'm gonna choose to
I'm gonna-
leave this place
Yeah, I'm already gone. I'm
with
going.
as few tentacles as possible.
This is the worst brothel I've ever been to.
I
Out
assume
of
we should
every
try.
2 brothels I've been to, this has been the worst one.
We should try to find, I guess, the main palace, if that's even the right thing to look for here. Payne, where are all the people?
Most of the people had fled the city. We may be some of the only ones stupid enough to head back into it. So this brothel, you said there was a stage, and then like we fell down. Did she fall through the floor? Sorry.
Yeah. Straight through the floor.
Okay,
Like there's
so-
like an upper balcony. There's like a few other places, but yeah, mostly
Well,
like.
if we're on the stage, then the door should be like across the room, so we might still be able to get around somehow. Like,
Yeah, it's not like it looks like you're gonna have to be careful where you tread. But I mean, you can pick a path. Give me who's leading point. I feel like it's not Kazna. I feel like Kazna did.
Yeah, it might be Gregor.
Gregor, I love it. Send the heaviest person first. If he
yeah, I
makes
was
it, it'll
just
be fine.
gonna say.
He doesn't care.
Gregor, give me a survival check to pick a path through the brothel. I mean, it's. I'm gonna give you experience. I'm gonna give you like
Proficiency?
inspiration.
Oh, okay.
Can I be like ready, like flying over top of him to like catch him? if he
Thank
does
God
fall?
it's a 13 and not a 0.
So
He's done this
you.
before.
Yeah, you see like Gregor like at one point like his foot straight up goes through a floorboard and he's just like, nope, not there, and has to sort of make his way around. But he finally makes it to the other side, and you guys can pick like a single file path through.
So Gregor, brothels are Gregor's favorite terrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed. And that and breweries, you know, it's
Yeah.
just.
Yeah.
But as you guys make it,
Taverns,
through-
though, he can never find his way out of.
Yeah,
And
this is
that was
true.
the problem last season. He's like a dog chasing his tail. He just can't find it.
As you make it to the edge, you get to sort of the entranceway. There's a desk which has sort of a ledger that is like badly damaged, sat there for people just like guests to sign in or sign out of. And as you reach, there's like double doors, huge, beautifully carved double doors that lead into this area. They are closed. You have sort of a fair bit of like cover around you, but yeah, on the outside, you can see that there is almost natural light seems to sort of stream in, but it's not. There's something off about it. It's not like sunlight by any means.
Something's weird going on. Where's someone that knows magic? Gavin, what's this? And points towards this weird, not light thing.
Can I do like an investigation or arcana?
Yeah, absolutely. It's either one. It's up to you. On a 19, it doesn't appear to be magical. I mean, you just don't get that vibe from it. It is almost golden. It's not flickering, so it doesn't look like it's sort of like it doesn't look like it's sort of like fire, but whatever is on the other side seems to be very bright, and you get from like the rays that are coming through the door cracks that it appears to be coming from high.
Well, it's not sunlight, but it is certainly some type of radiant energy. I don't believe it to be magical either.
Is it gonna fuck up our skin?
Ooh. It does not appear to be sunlight, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Is there, you said it's coming around the door, so I mean maybe they can like put their hand in the beam to see if it hurts them?
Yeah. Who wants to volunteer?
I mean vampire-wise. I mean,
yeah. Who wants to volunteer vampire-wise?
Yeah, Gregor.
I'll go.
No, I'll do it. Don't worry.
No, I'll go.
No. All right, you go.
Okay.
Kasna, you put your hand out. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's definitely not sunlight. It's definitely not daylight.
I'll take a big old step outside.
Kasna, you take a big old step outside. Roll me a perception check.
oh good.
You're good.
I'm like, again?
Another dexterity save right away.
If I fall through the ground.
Yeah.
So 17.
On a 17, you open the door and immediately you're in a street with proper flagstone floor, like pathways that are very well carved. There are, you can see that there are like pedestrian walkways and then there are like carriageways that lead through. You've come out into essentially what is a courtyard for a place for like coaches to swing in. There is a water feature that is completely rancid, set in the middle of like this big sort of roundabout circle area for like, aspiring guests to turn up at the brothel to like leave their wagons. It's a nice open place. The water feature is completely like destroyed. Whatever statue was picked out there is gone, and the water is like a rancid, foul, bubbling green. It is just horrible. All the buildings around you look heavily damaged, like they've got a lot of damp problems, a lot of rocks, and all of this is visible because you can see everything. It appears there is a star in the sky. As you look up, you are on the inside of a sphere, a huge sphere. You are now within the city limits. And hanging from the ceiling, at first, you see a huge golden orb that isn't quite entirely perfectly spherical. It's more oval-like. And your eyes take a moment to adjust, being a drow and like looking straight towards it. It's not like the blindingness of a sun, but it does sort of take a second. You see that there is a tower in the center of the city, and this tower has all kinds of growths that are sprouting out of it. But the largest appears to be a huge bulb. And by that I mean like the bulb of a flower. It is wrapped in heavy, almost like a beigey, slightly skin-colored, with striations of pink and purple veining through it, petals that are wrapped around something that glows intensely bright and lights this entire cavern up. And as you look around, you can see that everywhere you look, there is a shimmer to the air, this slight golden flecks, like dust, that floats around in everywhere, every direction. It is quiet. It is horribly quiet. There is nothing but the sound of the bubbles rising and slowly popping in the water feature. The buildings around you, again, look like they're sinking into the ground in places. The streets look pretty barren and devoid, but every now and again there is like plant life that has grown wild over it. This place looks like it has been abandoned for hundreds of years. And Payne, as you see this, you will know that it's not been abandoned for hundreds of years, not by any stretch. You remember what this place was like. It was a bustling, thriving city. There's no way that stuff like this should be, in place. There's no way it should be in this bad a condition.
This is not right. I haven't been gone that long. Unless you slow down time when you're around mortals.
Oh, we know all about fuck with time.
Yes.
Being gods and all.
That's too much.
So you're saying that this decay that we're seeing everywhere is
I couldn't
rapid,
have been gone
more
more
rapid than
than
natural.
I guess.
It could have something to do with this sphere thing we're in.
Or perhaps it has something to do with that great fucking bulb over there.
Was that not here before?
It was here before.
No, it was basically a huge palace-like tower in the center of the city, like the Great Wizard Tower sort of style, huge, made of pure black obsidian. It is overrun with wild plant growths.
So this bulb is sitting on top of it, or like in midway up?
On top of it.
On
right
top
at
of
the
it.
top.
And that's where the light's coming from.
Yeah. Lights up the entire cavern with ease. It's not like a burning bright, but it just fills the cavern.
I can definitely say that was not there before.
And that seems like the place to go.
After you, Miss Curiosity.
You said that everyone fled. What were what was everyone fleeing from?
I kind of flip my eyes over towards Kazna, her being a drow and all, and look back to you. Did I know that they were fleeing from the Elder Brain, or just like the random they were worried about the fog and the disease?
There was some kind of contagion.
All I remember is that we were told to get out, to run, that there was a contagion.
Oh, guys. And Gregor starts to get a worried look on his face. I can sense it here. The demon. I sensed it here earlier in the Underdark only the other day. And now again.
My tail kind of flicks nervously when he talks about demons.
Definitely here.
What demon are you referring to?
I don't know exactly what it is or what it's called, but I sensed its presence only the other day.
I imagine if you can sense it, it can probably sense you.
Yeah.
We'll know we're here. It's probably waiting for us, probably in that tower.
I don't think we have any choice other than to go and face it.
Yeah.
How are we doing on our 24 hours? Just checking.
You guys have probably gone for about half of that in like a fair bit of travel along the way here, and then scouting, and then making your way, like picking your way through sort of the building. You're probably coming up to sort of halfway through your first 24 hours.
Is that for the potions to make sure they're here? Okay.
Because you took them like before you passed over like the caustic lake, so
right. We're only 12 hours into our potion, but if for some reason we are taken captive and they're taken away from us, I'd rather have more time than less. It means that we won't have as much total time to try to take care of this, but perhaps could buy us critical time if we're somehow separated from them. I look to the party to see if they want to take ones early to reset the clock.
How many do we have left?
We have 11 left, which because Josh gave us 15 and not 16.
I don't know, we've got plenty of time. I don't want to go wasting them is the other thing.
It was just a thought in case somehow.
We could
Perhaps
each take at least one in case we are separated.
Now that we should do. Everyone should have their own.
Agreed.
It wouldn't be a terrible idea for one of you to drink them just in case the others ran out. You could revive them, perhaps.
It's a thought too. The reality is if we're taken prisoner, the person most likely to survive is you, Gregor, and be able to do something, as there's no one who can take away your stomach.
True. Yeah. He thinks about it. Let's at least take one. That much we agreed upon.
Yep.
And if anyone else wants to take anything else, then they go ahead and do so.
I'm happy to. I have the 11.
I'm
And
still not even really sure what they do, but I'll leave it up to you. You three have been traveling together for longer.
so I automatically give 3 to Kazna and 3 to Gregor.
Do we need to give them to Payne?
I can't remember. Are you?
You don't
No.
even need to fucking breathe.
No,
if you're
we gave
taking
one.
them.
We gave one to Payne before, just in case. We don't know though. She's from here, but we don't know that she's immune.
True.
I'm not immune.
We'll give her.
So-
we'll give-
yeah,
yes,
so-
give her a few. Go on.
Yeah. So I give
We're
2.
generous.
I
We're
give
generous
2 to Payne.
gods.
Please don't let me get the contagion. I want to leave.
Yeah, you give 2 to
I
Payne.
don't want to die.
Any guesses on what this thing is? Big glowing flesh-colored bulb? Like
I mean, it's
I'm
pretty fucking
thinking-
valid.
Demon seed. I'm thinking demon seed.
demon seed?
Yeah.
Plan of
Well,
attack?
I mean, a total meta. I think I know what it is, but
That was a good theory. I'm afraid.
total meta. I think I know what it is, and we're so
It's
dead if it
a
is.
Happy flower.
It's a happy flower.
Happy
And
flower. Go,
life
guys.
is given to the world.
It's beautiful. It's full of stars. Sorry.
Yeah, it's got a star in it. Why are you guys freaking out?
Right, okay, so we've
Because it tried to eat
This
us.
is-
laid out potions.
So this is climb the tower to get to the
Let's
seed. Is kind of
go.
what we're gonna have to do.
I don't know. I don't know what you
Okay,
guys
Well, I
do.
mean, there's no other way. Looks like that
Is
gets.
there a door into
Tower,
this
right?
tower?
Sorry, say that again.
Is
You
there
can-
like an entryway into this
Yeah,
tower?
I mean, the only
you
way
guys,
access.
you guys have you guys have a small city to get through to get
Yeah.
near, but along the way, I mean, Payne, you'd know there were ways into the tower. It was a place where people save it for live, Jasmine. People have entered, it was like a place of government and the arcane there. And just so I'm up to date, did anyone take an extra potion? If you all take extra potions?
we
yeah.
distribute them evenly.
Okay, right. How many have you got left?
For legend lore, the spell, it says object. I couldn't point out the flower itself, could I?
You
As
could
an
try.
object?
You could try.
I think I have the incense on me to do this.
Okay.
It's 10 minutes.
I'm okay with that. If you guys want to take a short rest in Legend Lore, I
Ooh,
will
I'd
allow
short rest.
Yes, short rest. Let's go.
Yep.
All right.
Actually, I really would. I mean,
Can I
if we're
spend
gonna
some
go
hit dice?
fight like bosses and stuff, we need a long rest before we fight anything for real.
It's up to you guys. What do you want to do? You got a nice cozy brothel. You can explore some of the other buildings nearby. It's up to you guys.
Can I just sit down?
Yeah,
on
I
the
don't think
street?
a long rest is ever a bad idea in this game.
No.
Especially with
Okay.
big demon seed tower thing in front of us.
I think we long rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
My font of rest does nothing for
Scab
us.
survives this long rest. Every moment I do that takes like 2 seconds, I'm like, the scab.
I know.
Okay.
I'll long rest.
Long
I'll 4-hour
rest?
rest because
Okay.
I
Yeah,
can
you're elven.
I can do my elf stuff.
Before I go into rest, though, I'm gonna do the legend lore, and I'm going to that flower thing over there.
Okay.
I guess.
Are you going to be reading your book as well? You can do while resting. You can spend some of your long rest reading.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So you begin to unwrap the secrets. But before you get into that, legend lore. Okay, give me a history check. I want to see how good.
I have a really good history, actually.
Hot damn.
Wow.
Okay.
That's kind of her thing.
I will send you I'll send you a message and let you know super secrets. So yeah, you guys who's taking first watch?
I will. Since I only need 4 hours, I'll take the first watch.
Okay, give me a perception check as rest of the party. Is everyone just straight up just like, apart from Payne who's doing her thing, is anyone else doing anything?
Oh,
during
can
this
I use my napkin?
Yeah, you cannot. Is anyone doing anything while you guys are taking your long rest?
Yeah, I'm looking. I don't think so.
I don't think Gregor has anything to do. He is trying to avoid conversation with Kazna about what did he mean about people not being who they really are.
Gregor goes to sleep so exaggeratedly hard. Oh,
He's
so
like-
asleep.
That's snoring with
He's
his
like
eyes open.
lying whilst he's asleep, like, I'm asleep. Snoring.
So asleep right now. Exactly.
So it's 9 hours. Sorry, as on a 9. Sorry, as your part of the watch begins to pass, Kazna, you just hear the slight creaking of the structures around you. Where are you guys stashing up for the night? You in the brothel or?
I was thinking the brothel.
I think the
Yeah, we
brothel.
could go up to like one of the balcony things and just kind of like huddle
Yeah.
in there, right?
Okay, so as you guys come upstairs to sort of the upper reaches of it, you have to sort of cut through some vines that have sort of laced across the corridor, but they don't appear to put up much of a fight like some of the other unfortunate fauna you've come across on your travels. You manage to sort of hack your way through and get to a balcony, and as you guys rest, everything's not so bad, Kazna. You just hear sort of the slight creaking of the wood beneath you, and outside you hear sort of like buildings just sort of groaning ever so slightly. The floor every now and again sort of seems to let out strange warped noises, but other than that, like, it starts to become normal background noise to you, and that is everything. Who is it you would like to wake for your?
So I have a
Please
question.
not me, please not me.
I only really needed a short rest, so I can do short rests with Louise and like swap off with her.
Okay.
Cool. I've got it. So my question is, I don't have to be secret anymore. I was going to type this in. So while Hex is having to do like a full deep sleep to get his spell slots back, does Gavin do anything?
Oh, that's right. It's no
Gavin can pitch me what you want Gavin to do, and I will make you. There will be an opposed test.
Break free.
He wants to work on repairing, basically taking piece by piece, sort of in this mental prison of rebuilding his armor of St. Cuthbert, starting with that very first piece that Gregor pulled out of his back, and even if it's just to connect one more piece to it, to just slowly,
Okay.
he feels that's almost as symbolically rebuilding his connection. And
Okay. So we are going to delve into the mind of Gavin Fjordhammer, into his mental prison. Gavin, you realize that this is not about reforging this thing. You realize that nothing around you is real. This is, how you're picturing yourself. You get that. You're a smart enough man to realize that, to put 2 and 2 together. You know that it's not about your physical strength here. It is about getting back to what you were and sort of refinding yourself. So I'm going to need you right now to give me a memory. I'm going to need you to tell me right now something that Gavin remembers about that, like, forged part of his personality. Give me a moment in his life that really helped build Gavin into the man he was.
I think Gavin doing this realizes from what, again, the symbolism of what Gregor pulled out of his back. It's the go back to the beginning. And so it's his first day as an apprentice at the blacksmith shop, when he was still he was always big for his age, but compared to the big draft horses he was dealing with, compared to the ingots of steel that were needed for the plows and things like that, he had never really met a challenge that he hadn't been able to meet. I mean, he had took care of his family's goats and such like that. And there was one stubborn goat that always sort of got the best of him, but he pretty much, as he got past being 7-8 years old, he was big enough to wrangle it. But he was taken as an apprentice at a very young age, only about 8 years old, even though he was big for his age, and all of a sudden was having to move around these draft horses and just got slung around, beat up. These draft horses gave no shits about little Gavin Fjordhammer, and he remembers just not wanting to fail. And every time one of those horses either like shoved him out of the way or pushed him down or drug him all the way across the stable yard, because they were so big and strong, he kept getting back up. And so as he's in his mind hitting this thing, it's just, get back up one more time. Just get back up. Get back up. And that's what is just his mantra right now, to just try to get back up.
I am going to give you an opposed check between Hex and Gavin right now.
Ooh, wow. Okay, let me pull up both sheets. Oh, well, this is true Hex, though, right? You'll have to tell me what true Hex.
This is Hex in his current form.
Okay.
As he currently is, with his current limitations. Hex versus Gavin, and we're gonna make it a wisdom check against each other.
Okay.
Just a check, no saves or anything like that.
Okay, and I'm gonna roll it because I want this to be true dice. So the first one is, shall we do Gavin to see if he's doomed before we start, or do we want to see what he's got to beat? Let's see.
I want to see what he's got to beat. I want to see what he's got to beat. I want to be able to root for Gavin.
Okay, Hex on an 11.
Okay.
Chance. Gavin, come on, Gav. With a 21.
Oh, damn.
Yes.
Oh, damn.
So
Bring our boy back.
Hex dreams, and Hex dreams of himself in Gavin's shoes, but without Gavin's brawn. And around him, the horses are twice as large as they were for Gavin. And Hex is bounced between everything. Hex is sort of being shuffled between all of these horses, and he keeps getting knocked about and injured, and he becomes lost, sort of knocked to his hands and knees, lost in a forest of huge pounding hooves and strong muscular legs that are all around him. And Hex feels genuine fear for being trampled and stepped on. And then as he sort of looks around, he casts his mind around, Hex sees that these are no longer the legs of horses. They are legs of people. And he is on his hands and knees struggling, and there are people around him that are standing over him. And he remembers being small, persecuted, terrified, a slave. He remembers having absolutely nothing, and it stays with him. Hex is going to be a disadvantage against Gavin next time this comes around, having lost the first bout, and has a genuine fear that this uncertainty that settles within him. At certain points, things might become more difficult for Hex, and Gavin might get a shot at getting those reins back.
Cool. That's cool.
So, as all of that chaos happens, and as a very unrestful, tormented Hex sleeps, not Zoom. God damn it! You've literally named yourself not Zoom, man. Look at I see Zoom. Kasna, you're laying there, or sat down, in one of the broken, comfortable plush seats. That's almost the least rotted seat you could find. And finally, you realize that you're struggling to keep your eyes open. You need to wake someone else. Who do you wake?
Very good question.
Gregor is asleep.
Not me,
asleep.
not me.
Wasn't Payne doing short
yeah,
rest?
I was gonna say I was doing a short rest, so I could have
True. Okay.
yeah,
Gregor's definitely praying.
I just swapped off that way, and that would be the perfect time for me to do the thing that I was mentioning. And I don't know who I'm gonna pick, so I'm just gonna
roll a d3.
Hope for the best, aka hope it's Gavin. That would have been Kasna for me then.
Okay. So, Kasna, you get some rest, you get some shut eye, you begin to meditate.
Everything's fine.
Everything's great.
At disadvantage, can you roll me a wisdom saving throw, please?
Me disadvantage.
Yes, at disadvantage.
Okay.
You're sleeping. You just left the person that you just met alone. I'm like, oh, what? Fine.
Can I isn't do anything?
No, it's PvP. I will not allow.
Oh. This isn't just me building tension. This is me unable to find it. There we go.
Okay.
A 10.
A 10, does that pass, Payne?
That is a good question. I'm not that familiar with this spell yet. Let's see.
What's your saving?
I can get her surface thoughts no matter what.
Yeah.
Wisdom saving throw if it fails. So I'm guessing a 10 is just a pass, or is that versus my
No,
spell?
it's versus your spell save. It's always versus your spell save.
Oh, 15. Yeah. No,
15. Yeah. So, Kasna, what is the driving thought in Kasna's mind at the moment?
Zun's dead.
Yeah.
Scab's technically kidnapped.
So,
Payne,
you see a dream. As you delve into the thoughts of a sleeping Kasna who is meditating, you see figures. Everything around you seems to be like a whirl of smoke, with things becoming easier to make out. Everything is in black and white and almost grainy, hard to read. But you see Kasna fixating on a face. It is the face of a drow. It is a very beautiful drow. She is slim. She's very elegantly dressed. But you watch as her clothes seem to tear and burn, and then her hair begins to frizzle and burn. And you see her pull up a cowl that slowly seems to char at the edges, and parts of her seem to break. And you see a huge slash of red across her midsection that begins to fade into black scabbing and scarring. And her body seems to begin to crack and break from the waist down in places. And you see Kasna focusing really hard on her face, but her face keeps flickering, almost as if she's struggling to remember how she looked. And she keeps trying to draw it back to this beautiful, very well composed, thin-lipped, unsmiling, strong, confident, beautiful drow mistress, but her body keeps sort of warping and changing and seems to be shrouded in a lot of darkness. And then you see another figure. You see a tiefling.
Oh boy, here we go. What does this tiefling look like?
You see a tiefling that is essentially wearing rags. You see a tiefling child curled up. He's probably 8 or 9 years old. He's like wrapped in rags and sort of like covered. And he's in the corner of what looks to be a cave. And as Kasna gazes around, she sees him sort of like coming over, and Kasna draws a blade and holds him at arm's length as she gazes over and slams her fist. And you realize that she slams her fist into bars. She remembers herself being imprisoned with a tiefling child. And then you see her rescue this tiefling child, who begins to start to drown as you're not sure how events have played out, but she claws her way out of flooding tunnels, breaking through the gate and managing to get out, taking this child with her who is like struggling to stay afloat. She pulls him out, and then you see him through different situations. You see him there being held in chains, and you see Kasna trying desperately to break those chains from him, and then tied up again to a post. And then you witness him get impaled. You see Kasna, as she tries to free him, break the post that he is tied to, and that post punches through his midsection, and a very nasty wound appears, running him through as he falls backwards. And you see Kasna holding him in both arms with blood pooling and him reaching for her. And you hear her mention the name Scab. I'm coming.
As I kind of like recede out of her thoughts, my character feels all kinds of ways about stuff now. So I kind of look at Kasna's meditating form and kind of give her a nod as I've resolved to help this tiefling child. Well, you might not be gods, but you certainly love like them.
My boy.
I stopped directing her thoughts so she can have better dreams now. I won't ask her any more probing. That's enough for my character. She's heartbroken at seeing this tiefling child.
So, Gregor, you have asleep about a tavern, and you are walking towards the door, but no matter how fast you run, the door begins to shrink into the distance.
Not always away.
And that is just your entire dream is just you trying desperately to make it towards, and people keep coming up and handing you drinks, and you're just like, no, get out.
I like to imagine his legs twitching as he runs in his dream.
Yeah, he's like a dog.
Yeah. He you see Gregor just I gotta get out because he's twitching. But yeah, everyone finally wakes after a long sort of rest. Yeah. And you guys...
that was a bad dream.
Do I remember dreaming about my dead sister and my dying son?
Oh yeah.
Sorry about that.
But you have no idea.
No, I don't. I just remember dreaming about it. Okay. Well, it's probably par for the course anyway with Kasna at the moment. She's not a morning person.
I'm just gonna roll and see. Hexa he's a bit quiet, but he looks okay. Doesn't look as shaken as he is probably feeling.
I was able to do a bit of research while you were sleeping, and
What you got?
whatever that is, it's infecting the air. Without your potions, if you were to eat, sleep, breathe, do anything here, you'd be a goner.
Just as what we got then.
We're getting fairly close to the overlap time. We probably should all
Yeah.
take now that we've rested, take our potions for the day.
Yep. Gregor.
Take that potion.
I'm kind of just forlornly staring at Kazna now, and just kind of like droopy wings, and just like,
Do I like notice?
yeah, I've suddenly gone from like chipper kid to just like sad puppy dog.
Oh.
Yeah, you suddenly realize that Pain is just sort of staring off into the distance at you, looking pretty horrifically downtrodden.
You all right? Kid?
Do you happen to be afraid of our kind? Tieflings.
I've never been given a reason to be. Why should I?
Well, I can tell you're not around here.
I know why others might be, but
I was supposed to be a drow. My parents gave birth to me, and I was a tiefling. I became the shame of my family. Hidden. I've been trying to free tieflings for some time. I didn't think that anyone that wasn't one of us would try.
what do you mean?
I sense an aura around you, mistress of kindness towards our kind.
Cass is very confused. She's like, I mean,
Little did you know you fell asleep on a meridian line, and therefore she can just sense all of your...
It's a tiefling thing.
who are you?
No one of importance. I say, looking over at Gavin.
Yes! Love it.
Maybe I'm a god too. You never even thought to ask, did you?
Yeah, Gavin gives a. It's actually Hex giving a smirk, but
So,
Right, Kaz is a bit. She's a bit confused. She's a bit shaking. She's like, right, well. Anyway, there's the tower. We have to get to the tower. We have to destroy that thing, and then it's can all be over.
yes.
Time to go.
you all have 2 potions left, bar certain someone who only has 1. And I'm not pointing at anyone because it's you guys are short 1 for that final day. So there we are.
Because Josh.
Because Josh actually rolled for it. You did quite well. Like I was I rolled for it. Yeah. I was going to give you like a day or 2 days at the minimum, but yeah, no, you came out on top. So as you guys are off, doing your thing, sort of getting ready and everything like that, Kazna, you go to lift your bag onto your back, and it feels heavier than you remember it.
Does there happen to be a brain inside of it?
Yes, there does. As you lift it up, it is there is a brain inside of it. It appears to be napping, the equivalent of it's just his brain has gone to sleep.
Right.
If the brain fits, the brain sits.
Hey!
Gently place the brain back into my bag. And put the bag on my back, and let's go kill a flower.
Give me a perception check real quick.
Okay.
Instead of trying to go up there and take it down, why don't we just destroy the tower?
It's a 14.
On a 14, you notice as you're looking at Brainy, he seems odd, slightly off. Like as you pick him up, he's always he's got that he leaves behind an ichor of sorts, but as you pick him up, he doesn't leave behind that odd feeling in your hand. He doesn't appear to be well.
He's probably going to need one of them potions.
Oh no.
Do I notice this?
Say again?
Would Gregor notice this?
Like, this is literally, like, you only notice this because you are actually holding him.
Okay.
He is, you can still feel, like, slight movement.
Okay, since Brainy is a lot smaller than myself, and thus logic dictates he may not need as much potion as a fully grown drow woman, I'll pour like a little tiny little splash on like one area of the brain, just to see if it helps.
You pour some out for your homie Brainy. It's for the one-eyed man.
This one's for my boy.
From love. Yeah, this one's for my boy Scab doing time. And you pour some out. You notice that
Juice potion.
yeah. As you pour it onto him, it seems to instantly sink into the flesh of his brain, his grey matter, and immediately there seems to be a little bit more vitality. And you notice something. You notice that there is these tiny, what look to be veins, recede ever so slightly from the outside of his head, where you can see they just pull inwards, and you see his leg sort of like twitch slightly and then just relax. And he slowly sort of like pulls himself over to get more comfortable and returns to sleeping, it would seem.
Okay, so seeing that that's worked, I'll turn my back away from everybody else so that unless they came around to see me, they wouldn't see what I was doing, and I'll pour out a quarter of the bottle onto the brain.
So you're like trying to get even coverage, just like that across.
But like just a quarter of the bottle.
Give me a medicine check. It's not brain surgery, don't worry.
Nat 20.
Nat 20. He has something growing in his grey matter.
Oh.
That's what you actually see. Something
in your grey matter there, bro.
Literally, as you pour it in, you notice what actually looks like veins. You can see aren't within the flesh; they are growing between sort of the individual parts, and it recedes. And you see a tiny bit of it seem to sort of like shrivel and die. And
there's still quite a bit of it there.
He gets color. It's inside it's inside the brain itself.
Oh no!
It's been some time, and
Brainy's got the thing. He's got the rot. He's got brain weeds.
As you do this, you hear a voice in your head, very disorientatedly say, "Kazna, is that you?"
Me. What's happened? What's happening?
Where am I?
You're with all of us again in a brothel currently. We're inside.
It is a brothel. Whereabouts are we?
We're inside the shard.
The shard. So we made it?
Yes, though you almost didn't, by the looks of it.
As long as we're all okay. And he sort of tries to pull himself sort of up and sort of make himself like he actually pulls himself onto his feet and gives a slight shake. And you see that color seems to slowly be coming back to him.
I have I have 3/4 of a bottle and another bottle left, right?
Indeed.
So at this point, can I notice her like dumping liquid into her bag? Or, like...
She has literally. You can roll me a sleight of hand, Kazna, versus you having pain. I'm going to give pain an active perception because you are like actually staring.
I could roll twice, but it's a 15.
15. Okay.
Yeah, my passive is 13, so.
No, I'm going to give you an active. I'm going to give you as you are literally. You have been staring at her and been like,
oh, thank God.
There's something about her aura is just like you get that she needs to be left alone at this.
Yeah, I kind of like politely look off for a little while, give her some space.
So.
Do you think you'll make it the rest of the way? To be quite honest, I can't lose the last thing
Rest of the way
Zune
where?
has.
Rest. What do you mean the last thing that she has?
She was close to you.
She is close
shared...
to me.
Exactly. And our task is not yet done. And I cannot let you wither until it is.
I will be strong for the both of you.
Do you need any more of this? Or will you be okay?
I don't know what it even is.
How strong do you feel right now?
I feel fuzzy, hazy. I don't know. I thought I would never left that place where I couldn't see, couldn't think properly. I figured that was where I was. But in my head, it's unclear.
Well, this could perhaps be a terrible idea and result in neither of us making it out alive, but just don't tell anybody I did this, and I'll pour out the rest of the bottle onto the brain.
You pour it out onto Brainy, and he seems to sort of like regain quite a lot of vitality. He manages to actually pull his full, like himself up to his full height of like, not much, but he pulls himself up to his full height and sort of seems to sort of flex his huge like clawed feet, and there is something very wrong here, Gazna. Show me that, and he sort of like seems to like turn towards the vial that you're holding. Who gave you that?
It's been so long I've actually forgotten who was this.
Are you giving it by the Watcher?
Yeah, it was the Watcher.
Yeah, I was gonna say the guy in the pyramid.
And I knew he was screwing us.
I had a feeling, but it seemed to be working all right. The Watcher. Why?
They don't have an alchemist.
He was the alchemist.
He was indeed.
Oh.
Well, we don't know this because it's all going on in their head. Fuck.
Oh, no.
Son of a bitch.
Oh. They don't. Did they ever?
Not anymore. I quit, I guess. After leaving with you.
So these, do you remember making them, or was this after your time?
I had notes. Zune has my notes. She had a book. She was transcribing some of my research.
This book? I'll pull the book out of my bag.
There's a pause, and Kazna, why do you have her book?
I went back to get it, remember? That's when we saw each other
What do you mean you went back?
after she.
What? After she what?
Do you not remember? What do you remember? What's the last thing you remember of Zune?
There was light. A lot of light. A place where Kazna?
Zune is no longer with us.
Kazna, is that you?
Yes.
He sort of stretches slightly and... Where are we?
Oh no. What's the last thing you remember? Tell me now, please.
There was a place. I remember there being like nothing, like a great void I couldn't see through.
Do you remember Zune?
There were vines. I couldn't get to her. What happened? Where is she?
Zune is dead.
He flinches, like visibly flinches, almost sort of retreats into your bag slightly. What are you talking about? She's dead.
She fell to her death, and Gavin could not save her. So the story goes. You were there for part of it. You said you didn't see what happened. You couldn't.
No, that... There's no voice that it just filters out suddenly and you just get a wash of emotion. There's a lot of regret mixed with a lot of pain and anguish and anger and confusion. But as you try and sort of, as you feel that wash over you, you feel it slowly begin to ebb slightly, as if it's being eaten away, piece by piece.
Do I get the sense that Rainier's finished talking?
He doesn't seem to know what to say. He doesn't seem to have words right now.
I understand. Get some rest. We're going to need you. And I'll gently place Brony back in the bag. And as I stand up to turn back around, her eyes are like burning red. Like she's trying so hard to hold it together.
A very red-eyed, very shaky-looking Kazna turns around to the rest of the party as you guys are sort of grabbing your gear, getting ready to move out.
Gregor notices? As someone who might pay more attention
I'm going to say, you can easily pick up and sort of...
Cal, is everything okay?
Yes. Never been better. Everything's fine. Everything will be fine.
Hmm? So, what's gone wrong?
What hasn't gone wrong? What's gone right?
Okay. Have all those days. Gotcha.
We just need to get this done, and we need to get it done now. We need to get out of here.
Can do that. Let's head towards the tower.
Kazna goes. She's straight out, doesn't talk to anyone else, doesn't do anything else. She's out the door.
Just a question, and I don't know. I'm trying to remember, when was the last time Kasna and Gregor fed?
It's been a little while now.
Don't they have like blood?
Oh no, we have a little.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's
Right.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
You still got some. I'll let you have food, sustenance,
Okay.
whatever you need as you get ready in the morning. But as you drink, I'm gonna give sort of like everyone can make a. I'll let you either pick. You can each individually pick. You can pick nature, you can pick perception, or you can pick arcana.
I am bad at all of these skills.
Oh damn, that's a nat 20 on the Arcana.
Oh damn!
In which case, I will try nature instead. For a 6.
19 on perception for Hex.
6 nature.
Okay, so on a 19 perception, Hex, what is it you've made to eat? Like what is? I mean, this is Hex cooking. I mean,
Well, that's the thing. I mean, yeah.
you still do the Gregor full English or full?
Oh no, that's he actually hasn't pretty much this season. We've always been like, oh,
He did once.
He did once.
That was his cool paladin thing. That was like the coolest moment for Gavin ever.
Yeah, no. So yeah, he it's a smaller breakfast. I mean, but definitely, I mean, he makes breakfast. He knows that he needs to feed this body he's inhabiting, but it's not anything nearly as showy. And again, he makes the excuse. Again, he's cooking one-armed, so the flair and salt off the elbow that Gavin used to do is not all there. But yeah, he makes enough sustenance for me. In the back of his mind, he knows that he might have to feed these vampires at some point too, so he needs to keep his strength up.
Okay, so
because at this point, Hex, even though it's Hex, he knows he can't make it out of here by himself alive. So he's gonna have to keep these vampires alive, even if he doesn't want to.
Hex, you as you make food, you notice something. You notice as you have sort of the pan sizzling.
Oh no. Gavin would be just heartbroken if you're gonna have stuff growing in my food.
It appears that this infection is sort of spreading to it's inhabiting stuff. You notice that you're starting to notice like bits of your clothing seem to have almost been tarnished in places. You notice that there's slight, as you take Agatha out, the handle of Agatha is ever so slightly covered in the slightest furry green. That's almost like it just wipes off.
Yeah.
But there is a serious problem here, and as you begin to make food, the heat from the pan seems to do the trick. The heat from the pan seems to be okay, but you begin to notice it in a lot more stuff in the light. As you're looking around, you notice it in sort of like when Gregor stands up, stretches and like scratches his behind. You notice as he drags his nails across his clothing, like tiny bits of dust kick up, and there's this slight golden glint to everything. Like it's everywhere.
Swear to God, it's pollen season in South Georgia. It's everywhere.
But as you sort of like reach up, you go to take a bite out of something. Like, what have you made? Is it like an omelet?
I'm gonna say it's basics. It's probably just like a hash because he can't make anything much more of that. So it's basically where Gavin would have had like ham and eggs and all separate. This just sort of turned into just a big messy undercooked in some places, overcooked in others.
Yeah. So as you reach up, sort of like you're sort of like, oh God, it's I'm not sure. You put the fork towards your mouth, and you notice that without touching it, suddenly there is a burst, almost as if spores go off in your face. But they come off of the food and they push backwards away. And as you hold it right in front of you, right in front of your mouth, there appears to be no aura around this. And who got the nat 20 on Arcana?
That was me.
Payne, you see this as well. Like, you're noticing it in like the food. You're starting to become really worried, and then you watch as Hex pulls his fork up, and the second it gets within sort of like a few inches of his face, all these tiny glittering particles seem to sort of puff outwards and push away from Gavin. And it's almost as if you were joking earlier on about sort of auras and stuff like that, but there seems to be something about Gavin that actively repels this. And you look down and you notice that you have markings on your clothing, but if you look down at like the biggest worry, you have a potentially open weeping wound. You look down at it, you don't have any spores that seem to be focused around your wound. And in fact, you look over, your skin appears to be entirely free of whatever this dust is that settles everywhere. It doesn't appear to be able to touch you guys at the moment. It seems to work for every single one of you.
Well, the potions are supposed to keep us alive, right? As far as we are concerned, so potions are working.
Well, but it was certainly right that nothing can leave this place.
So everything we took in here with us is just destined to be destroyed.
Yes.
Oh, well. I never bring anything with me that I'm not afraid to lose. That came out wrong. I don't ever travel with anything that I'm not okay with losing. I meant the exact opposite of what I said. But you know what I meant.
Payne just kind of looks down at the ground, not really sure how to respond. So are we going to get to doing this, or are we just going to stand around and fucking...
Yeah, I honestly
Let's
don't
go.
care about, Gavin's shitty breakfast, so let's go. I mean, man, you have dropped the ball here.
He's cooking with one arm. How well can you do?
I mean, my arms don't really affect how well, if I overcook things or not. I mean, I just fucking take it out when it's ready, you know?
You notice like Gregor seems to favor one arm. He's definitely got that big, strong, like a right arm.
Anyway, shall we get on the way?
Everyone sees that and yet no one reads into it at the same time.
I'm heading towards that tower.
So as you guys head back out into the hallway, you see that already vines that you cut through yesterday to get up here have already in places regrown. They're not like heavy, thick, like we're talking sort of like centimeters thick, if that. But they are, this place, like the corridor is slowly being taken over, and it's almost like a jungle, trying to sort of get your way out. Very few leaves on any of this foliage, but plenty of like mushroom-like spores growing out. But as you get back round to the front door, who's leading the party?
Hex will. So as we pick our way through, seeing as Gregor stepped through yesterday, he'll give it a try.
You managed to pick the path that Gregor took, and as you lead the party through, you come to the doors, the open doors, and as you step outside, you are not alone in this courtyard. As you step outside, you notice that there are several creatures in front of you. They certainly look like they were once human.
Oh no.
Oh god.
And we're going to end the session now.
Such a good time all the time. So much
Been a
fun.
good time.
Can't wait for
Like-
next week.
I was the
Yeah.
only person who didn't get a long rest
Yeah,
one
long
march.
march. Had to get it in there.
Squeezed it in at the end.
So I've got no. So this is gonna be fun next week.
Yeah, happy days.
Happy
Oh, you
Ah.
wanted to look into my mind. So that's
Well,
your mistake.
And my mind
Yeah.
looked back.
Well, I mean, other than that, she might have just bailed on you guys, but now at least she has a reason to stay
True.
to save
That
the
poor little
baby. So.
tiefling boy.
I mean, you guys did like try and sacrifice her to a goddess of death.
She doesn't know that.
You guys are kind of assholes.
She wasn't there to hear.
What she doesn't know won't hurt her until it does.
Yeah.
Until you sacrifice me to a goddess
Well,
of
we
undeath.
found an alternative solution.
Absolutely fantastic. Oh, well, my friends, that's all going to end tonight's episode of The Long March. If you enjoyed it, let us know. Of course, if you haven't followed the show yet, hit the follow button and join us. We're back online tomorrow, 1 p.m. Eastern, for Call of Cthulhu Nameless Horrors. Boy, is it getting fucking mental in that game. If you're not watching the Nameless Horrors crew, strongly recommend it. They are just absolutely killing it each week there as my players. So then we've got fucking Sands of Zahir, and then I've got Save or Die. So Wednesday's a really busy day, like 9 hours of D&D. But today's been fantastic. Let's go around the cast and crew. Did we enjoy ourselves? Where can we find you fantastic people online? Let's start with Josh. What do you think of tonight's show, my friend?
Yeah, it's fun. It's good to explore sort of like everyone's minds every now and again, and also figured out that there are going to be costs to being here. Just being here, it's going to take its toll on everyone, and you got to start remembering that it's not just you guys who came here. You brought people. You brought
A brain.
mounts. You brought a brain. You brought
My mount is outside the place.
mount
And
is-
also, he's not really.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's absolutely fine. Don't even worry about it. So yeah, you guys have got a lot going on, but everything's fine. If you guys feel like I've been an arsehole tonight and want to see me suffer, you guys should check me out on Turnecloaks, because yeah, Turnecloaks is a place where I get my ass handed to me on a daily basis. Terrible, terrible things happen. Me and Gavin, I know you. Like sometimes when I'm here, I'm just like, you're Gavin. Like, to me, you will always be Gavin. But yeah, me and School get our asses handed to us on a daily basis. You can check out that. There's loads of amazing stuff going on there. Check out all of our podcasts, really, because they're fantastic. But also, I've got another thing that I can't really talk about. It's not really for me to talk about. So that'll be for Laura and Anya to talk about. But it sort of is to do with Long March as well. So over to someone else.
Let's go over to we're going to start with Laura Lania because we go in reverse order. Tia.
Hey, Laura Lania, Tia. Sorry for the setup. I am in San Francisco right now. I just got back from the Twitch offices. I'm glad that I was able to make tonight's show because I was going to be really sad if I didn't. You can find me on Laura Lania or my Tia Zimmer. I am on the Long March. I am going to be on a show on Friday for Firefly for RPG. And for those of you that miss Zune as much as the rest of us do, Josh and I are going to be doing a one-on-one D&D kind of origins of Eider / reliving Zune's early years. I'm hoping that we can get some cameos from some of the other players here.
Yeah, no pressure, guys. We're just going to have to live and stream on the Long March. If you guys will do cameos down the line, yes.
Yeah.
Well, we need to get
I
some of our
also
sibling rivalry in there.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna see Kazma a bunch of times. They have to.
Drow Christmas. We can do Drow Christmas.
You can do an actual,
Drow
actually
Christmas.
do a Drow Christmas.
Actually do
Confirmed.
the proper. I run my own Discord role-playing server, and I sometimes play Heroes of the Storm, and I'm pretty awesome. And you should check out all my stuff. And I hope you guys had a good time.
Great stuff. Let's go over to Todd Squirrel.
Always a blast. Seeing all the different stuff. Fun to start to see possibly Gavin having a way out. I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be all about rolls there. It's literally, they're even on their wisdom. So depending on when we move around from different attacks, from different quarters, what stuff's going to happen. So we'll just have to see. But yeah, no, you can find me all across social media at Tall Squall. On my Twitch has links to all the other fun stuff I do, like Turncloaks, and also I do host my own D&D game on Saturdays at 2:00 for charity. You're welcome to check that out. Things are getting interesting there. Deep lore. In fact, tomorrow I might be doing DM's Desk as well, which is where folks can tune in as I do my campaign prep. So stop on in.
Great stuff. Thank you, Todd Squirrel. And Louise.
I love today. I'm really excited to see if we can survive. I'm hoping we can. I feel like I'm in a bit of a sad race with Gavin at the moment because each time he gets closer to being free, Kazza gets closer to figuring out what actually happened, and it's who's gonna die, who's gonna live. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, I like I said, it's all going to be about whether Gavin, and whether you care. I mean, whether Kazna gives a damn.
If I find out that you're actually a demon and you killed my sister, am I gonna care that you used to be Gavin? Who knows?
Yep.
We'll find out if it happens. In the meantime, whilst we wait for that, you can follow me on places, and those places are Twitter at No More No Less, here on Twitch as Accidental Legend, and you can catch me on the Wonder Quest podcast, playing a very, very different character who's much shorter and much kinder.
Great stuff. Well, my friends, that's all for today. But we've been planning a lot of things. Season 3 is coming up. We've got, 3 more weeks? 3 more weeks of this season, and then we go on to all new seasons of shows. So get excited for that. Your boy's been trailering fucking hard. And
trailers! I'm so hyped for the trailer.
Oh yeah.
Who knows what we'll be doing next here? Will we be continuing the long march? Will we be doing something else? Keep an eye out on the Twitches and the Twitters over the next few days here. In fact, I say next week. Sunday, the 1st and the 2nd of our new month of April is when you're going to start seeing those trailers coming out. So if you don't follow us on social media, keep an eye out to hear if we'll be back with more Long March or if we'll be doing something else and all of the other different shows and systems that we'll be playing. It's fucking exciting. I can't wait. But until then, my friends, try not to draw too many net ones. We want to be laughing when you do. Good night, everybody. Bye.
D&D dice.
Bye-bye.